Bing bong, bing bong. Let's get into it. What's going on, guys? Coach Colin here. I don't even know if you guys heard it. Again, it takes a while for this thing to get started up for some reason. Let's just jump right in, everybody. Oh, man. I have to tell you something. I don't know why. You guys can't smell my breath. For some reason, I just have to brush my teeth. There's no way around it. I'm like, I have to do it. I don't know why. You guys can't smell it. You guys can't smell the coffee breath, but I still have to do it. And I have to put lotion on. I always wear a hat. I have to put the lotion on my head. Why? The rituals, the things we have to do every single time we get in front of camera are just weird. I don't know if anybody else is like that. I don't know if Baron has some weird thing he has to do, or Ian does, or even if Candace does, but I gotta put the lotion on the head. I gotta brush my teeth. Just take a mint next time. You're right. You're right. I need a little canteen of Philadelphia mints right here. That's actually what I mean. I need to make sure that there's nothing in it. No type of detonator or any kind of projectile or anything like that. Once that's secure, and I know for sure, then no problem. You know, you take a mint, you know, maybe you crack it open, make sure there's nothing in there either. Then you take your mint. 100%, guys. Let's just jump right in because we're talking about Philadelphia mints. Do I even have this queued up yet? Oh my gosh, I got the black screen. My apologies, guys. Boom. Check this out. Let me make this a little smaller for everybody. But somebody made something very masterful. But then they also uncovered something that I think we're all going to be surprised by. Maybe you won't be surprised by it. Ethan, thank you so much for showing us this. Look at this. There is actually a Philadelphia mints company. That's a real thing already. What? How did that happen? Who's behind this? Independent. See, look. Missed opportunity here, right? This is why they need to work with us. Missed opportunity. Independence could have easily been independence. You know what I mean? Could have easily done that. You got to merge those two words. They don't know, right? They just don't know. But it's an actual thing. And then they also made this beautiful, like this is the revamp of that company. I don't know what this company thinks about us in the podcast here, but my gosh. Would this not just go hard? Look at this. Philadelphia Mints got me with the old school yellow hat. I need to bring the yellow hat back. I mean, this is beautiful, right? Made me about 70 pounds lighter. Oh, good. I appreciate it. Thank you so much, Ethan. Thank you. Thank you. I really, really appreciate it. Guys, we're going to be jumping into some stuff today. You guys know that Candace actually brought out the Zoom call. I did not think this was going to happen the way it did. I thought it was going to be a regular Zoom call. I was working out. It was like I was watching a drama series, like I was watching some true crime series. I literally went, oh, 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 oh. I was shocked. I could not believe what I was seeing. Oh, shout out to Danks as well. Danks sent me this at like 2:00 in the morning. You don't send people stuff like this while they're sitting in a dark room. You don't do that. I don't know what his problem is. I was like, what the? This guy freaked me out with that. You have no idea. I was like, it looks right at me? Come on, man. Don't do that to me. Anyway, let's get into it. As Candace said, she has possession of it. She's going to release it. It was 5 days after Charlie passed away, made her uncomfortable. I thought it was just going to be like, it's just a Zoom calling. Okay, whatever. It's just going to be her saying some things. All right. But man, oh man, did this make me uncomfortable. It made me sad. After we talk about the Zoom call, we're going to jump into Charlie being a gifted kid. I love that she's jumping into this, talking about Quest and everything. I didn't realize they had a name before that. Really, really cool. I'm going to play for you because she starts talking about Project. Does she say Monarch? I don't know if she says Monarch or Montauk. I don't know. I'll have to listen and see, but I'm going to play an episode for you because me and my wife actually did an episode on that whole thing. The fact that Stranger Things was actually like a real thing and the camp and how it's linked to X-Men and the X-Men school is actually seemingly based on this place called Camp Hero. Camp Hero's a real place. It's connected to Stranger Things. Like, there's a whole weird connection there. So I'm going to play some clips from that podcast. Then we're going to jump into Brian Enton, and he is going to be talking about the text messages that Tyler Robinson, am I saying that? Well, I haven't said his name, so Robinson, that's it. I'm English, I can speak it. Okay, kind of. He's going to be talking about those text messages. He's going to be talking with someone from the Bureau, or maybe, quote unquote, ex-Bureau. And they're going to just be talking about it. But this guy is not giving up the Fed slop. He has no Fed slop in him, this guy. This guy does not believe in these text messages, but we'll go over it. And then, we're going to jump into a little bit of John Bray. If you don't know who that is, he's the man who's exploring the microphone theory. And then that's pretty much it. So let's just jump right in to this whole thing right here. Candace Owens talking about or listening to this Zoom call. Watch this.
Say team for their work at the memorial event. So let's take a listen.
Hi, everybody. I still love all these emoji Zoom things. Wow.
Yeah, me right there. That was it. From right there, I was like, oh no, you're giggling. Why are you giggling? Hey, it's been 5 days. It's been 5 days. That's not even much of a month, you know? Is that even a quarter of a month? What? Is he even in the ground at this point? You're giggling already. Okay.
I don't even know where to begin. The fact that we were able to pull off an event of a century, like, it's just insane. We had over 275,000 people that attended, and the stadium, overflow, Westgate, insane, you guys. And then you have, was it 100 million? You guys that heard the gospel and all about Charlie and all about everything that you guys do, and the hard work of Turning Point USA is insane. We had thousands that were registered to vote. I think we're at like over 200,000 for merch sales. Don't quote me on that, because I think it just keeps like bumping up like crazy. But I just wanted to say a huge thank you to the events team, the development team, the graphic design team, the production team. It's just phenomenal. They're incredible.
Hi. I'm from the events team. Hi, how you doing? Good to see everybody here. Just real quick question. Isn't your husband dead? Just real quick. I just wanted to, I'm asking. No, actually, I'm going to talk. I don't understand. What's going on here? Why are you even in this call? This is not even a call you have to be on. We're already working. Why are you? That would be my first one. They'd throw me out. Just like they fired that girl. They'd be like, we're going in a different direction, Colin. You have to go. I'd be like, I just wanted to know. I just don't understand. She was giggling. I'm just saying, she was smiling and giggling. I'm just asking. Oh, they'd throw me right out. I'd be gone. I'd be absolutely gone. They would not appreciate me whatsoever. Let's keep going.
Work leading into the memorial. And honestly, a lot of the staff that worked on the memorial, they had 20-hour days for a week during the time of us grieving the loss of my husband. And honestly, I know several staff that didn't even sleep. Again, you guys are breathing angels, and I'm so grateful for all of you. And obviously a huge thank you to the Mosaic team. VI, you guys are 10 out of 10. Like, we have the most incredible team. We just do. And you guys know that, and you guys are all a part of that. And I am so thankful. And if you do have a moment and you run into any of those staff members that you know had a role in this, and you know that they put a lot of their time and effort into it, just say thank you. There's something really special to be seen in moments like this, and it's not easy. I'm speaking from experience. I'm right in the trenches with you guys. And so the fact that you just, a simple thank you. I don't care if any of you have beef with each other from the past, or have any issues with someone said something about this or that. Like, if you guys have any of that, please put it to rest.
I'd be like, hold on a second. Ma'am, what are you talking about? if you guys, I was just thinking the other day, right? If you guys have like any issues with each other, like I hear that, Stacy and Mark like had a thing, and like we just gotta like put that stuff to rest, we just gotta put it down into the ground like my husband. Hey, ma'am, why are you saying all this? Ma'am. No, I know. She's a boss. No, it's fine. She's a boss. I'm just saying, why are you here? Why are you saying this to us? I was thinking the other day, if you guys have beef, what are you talking about? Don't you have beef with some dude named Tyler? What's going on here? Why are you here? Where are your kids? It's been 5 days. I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying.
My husband's dead. Like, I'm not trying to be morbid, but he's dead. And it puts life into perspective of how short life is and relationships, and God puts people in your life for a reason, and it teaches you a lesson, it teaches them a lesson. So if you are going through a time where, just lay it to rest, and we are moving forward, Turning Point USA 2.0 with Charlie in our hearts, and that's what he would want.
Candace, she's already heard it before. She's still shocked. She's still like, what's happening? Really? Look, Candace is like, I should have made videos about Erika this entire time. She took her time making videos, but she didn't want to make videos about Erika. She didn't want to talk about Erika for the longest time. It was like, what, a good 3 months, maybe 3.5 months before she started really speaking on Erika. She's like, I should have started week 1, day 1. I should have been making videos. Look, that's her realizing. I think I dropped the ball. I should have been focused on her. She's like, forget the Egyptian planes. We got to hone in on this girl. It's so crazy to say the whole thing is morbid. It's funny she touches on that because the entire thing is morbid. We're going to go to another clip here. The entire thing is morbid because, Charlie's gone and you're like, hey, just my husband's dead, saying it like voice didn't even crack, there's so many things I'm expecting from somebody who's talking about that. Who's talking about someone they love passing. I would think like, oh, for sure, like your voice is going to crack. You're going to be upset, right? Something like that. Nothing. She's like, my husband's dead. Listen, she said it like we're going out at 6. Yeah. We're going. Nah, I don't care. We're just going to In-N-Out. Yeah, no, I don't want to go anywhere too crazy. She's saying it with that same type of cadence, that same type of nonchalantness. It's crazy. If I think about something happening to my wife, I could start crying. And she's fine. She's a little sick right now, but she's fine. You know what I mean? I don't know, man. The whole thing is just so wild to me. The whole thing. This is very surprising. I did not think that this would be like this. I thought it was going to be something where, not like Candace was exaggerating, but I thought it would be something more like, okay, it's just like this call, like whatever. Like she's there, frazzled, but she's still there. And it's odd that she's there and offering grief and, time off for grief. I thought it was going to be that. I didn't think it would be absolutely nuts. That's not what I thought. And then the next thing you know, you just see Candace like this, just pondering like, oh my gosh, maybe she was on the planes. She's like, right now, Candace is trying to think, should I be researching if she knows how to handle a rifle? That's what Candace is thinking right there. Should I be seeing if she knows how to shoot a Mauser? Maybe I should be researching that. That's what she's thinking right there. Let's get into the next one.
I'm just grateful that while things were still in motion and moving around, that we had our leadership teams provide for you counselors, pastors. I heard there were therapy dogs. Slightly jealous that I didn't get to have any moment with a therapy dog.
What? I'm telling you, Charlie right now is just like, I already said this before, but he's for sure just up there like, hey, yo, Archangel Michael. I'm saying, I've read the Bible. I know the Bible. You can go down there. Whatever, can we go down? I just want to go down for a second. I don't even need the body. I don't even need the body. Can I just get Jesus? Just step back. Step back, man. I'm just saying, because you're like a warrior, right? So we can go down because I got some things to do. You got a sword? Can we please? Let me talk to God. I've had enough of this. This is crazy. Kobe Bryant's up there like, you got to calm down, bro. You got to calm down. Get off me, Kobe. Kobe, get off me. Get off me. Okay? Get off me. I just want to go down. I just want to talk to some people. That's all. One chance he got to go down, he went straight to Candace. He was like, this is the only one that actually cares. Candace, I've been betrayed. I have to go. That's it. That's it, man. Something's going on. This is crazy.
Breakfast. I was really adamant about making sure that we paid for your flights for your spouses to be there. That was something on my heart. You don't want to grieve alone. No one's supposed to grieve alone. It's not healthy. But I just think it's a beautiful honor that all of these benefits were made for the community to grieve and remember Charlie. And I really hope you took advantage of those in a healthy way when they were provided, because it's meant to be for everyone, for healing. Grief comes in waves. Some days are going to be tougher than others, but take it as it comes. And that's why you have your Turning Point family, and just lean on them and lean on other people in your life that will help you and pour into you and pray with you to get you through it. I say that, though, that if you do need more time to grieve, please continue to use Turning Point USA's network of counselors. We have pastors. I mean, there are so many resources for you. If you do need additional time off, please talk to your director about using paid time off for that. And again, it's not easy, but again, grief is hard. Otherwise, honestly, Turning Point USA and Turning Point Action, full steam ahead, you guys. Charlie would want us to get back to work, and that's what we're doing, and that's what we did with the memorial. And I'm so honored and proud of each and every one of you, because that's what we're going to do in his honor and in his name. We have so much to do, which is exciting. Charlie in heaven is like, you guys thought you had a busy schedule then, just you wait. And he's doing some awesome things with Jesus in heaven right now, but there's so
He's doing some awesome things with Jesus in heaven right now. Look at Candace is pissed. You know that? She's a straight up professional. So when you're in front of camera, you can't let like all the other things get you. You have to just like turn it on. So she turns it on. She's pissed. She for sure left this podcast or started this podcast mad. There's no way, because she's thinking of how much she cried and how upset she was. And then you hear his wife and she's laughing and she's making jokes. She's like, I wish I got some time with those therapy dogs. What about time with your husband and kids? What happened? What? I don't understand. I get it. Dogs are real nice. I understand. But still, this is crazy. Very, very wild to see. And honestly, I know there's some people who will say, everybody does grieve differently. And that's true. And you could say, as somebody said in the comments the other day, some people have a defense mechanism. They jump straight into work when they're dealing with stuff like this. I guess. I mean, I honestly don't think that's what this is. I honestly, when I first heard this, and as I hear it now, I'm making jokes and everything, this sounded like cold-blooded. It sounded cold-blooded. At this point, I wasn't even making videos about this whole thing. And I was still crying about this thing. I mean, wow. I should have been married to Charlie. He should have married me. I would have been a better wife. He's like 6 inches taller than me, so I would have been the wife. It's fine. He drew the tall straw. It's fine. I'll be the wife. It's whatever. It happens. Genetics. It's fine. But yeah, it's just nuts. It's nuts to me.
So much work to be done. I mean, since his assassination, we have 100,000 chapter, 100,000 chapter requests. We have 300,000 new donors. That is a blessing in itself. Again, not normal. All God. I think we have 50,000 plus hat orders to fulfill. I mean, I'm saying these numbers because it puts into perspective that we're not just sitting and thinking and looking at the wall being like, what do we do? Like that, there is so much to do. You have over 20,000 AmFest registrations.
There's a lot happening there, and none of it is what I would be expecting to happen there. So basically what the employees said to me was that they got onto this call and everyone's exhausted, everyone's been working, they pull off this massive memorial. And then there's kind of this approach where it's like, well, if you guys need paid time off, like Charlie's in heaven dancing, wanting you to work harder. He's just up there like, you better work, but you can use the paid time off that you have earned, by the way, if you need to grieve more. But imagine you're the employee and you're like, okay, well, this is his wife saying this. So am I weird? Would I be like, I would be pretty weird if I needed to take time off and his wife is saying she's full steam ahead. That's the mentality that they had. Like, how are we supposed, like, are we weird for wanting to grieve? Is that not the vibe? How can we take paid time off when Erika, his wife, is saying full steam ahead?
You know, Candace says it at the end of this episode. She says it sounds a little tricky, this whole thing of her saying, you know, take time off, but she's full steam ahead. And it's a little bit of a tactic. Funny enough, Lance, my researcher, and other things, I think he's the head mod in here. I don't even know if you're in here. I was going to say mod, Lance, let me know. But when it comes to, he was saying that he thinks it's like Project Often at work, like in terms of Erika and her mindset, because it does seem very weird that she is in this way, you know, that she is completely just nonchalant, that she's fine about this whole thing. It seems like something is heavily compartmentalized. There you go. I was like, am I going to be able to say this word? It seems like there's a lot of that going on. And that's a thing with these, Mortal Kombat Ultra, Often, things like that. There's a lot of that they do to you. I don't get it. But it is a tactic. It is a tactic to be like, hey, you guys can take time off. Don't worry about it. Right? You know, your boss is like working. And he's like, hey, you know, you guys don't have to stay. But the boss is like working. It's like, oh, well, you know, you're working, so I should. You feel kind of like you have to, you know? It is a thing. Joel, just so you know, I made you a mod. If Whitney's in here, let me know. I will make her a mod as well. But I have to do it when I see you guys, because when I click on your profiles, I don't have the option to make you mods. Just wanted to throw that in there. Now, jumping over really quick. I think I messed up putting clips here, but I'm gonna put this clip here first, because this is Mr. Let Go. Am I saying that right? Mr. Let Go. Okay, I thought it was Mr. Let It Go. Listen to this, because she's talking about AmFest registrations, all the hats. Oh, and Charlie must be like 100%. Like, she's talking about hats. She's talking about hats. Tupac, you understand what I'm saying, right? You understand what I'm saying? Because it's my wife, and she's talking about hats. What do you mean? It happened 5 days ago. You remember when I got here? Yeah. She's talking about hats down there. This is crazy. No, you feel me, right? Like, this is beef, no? You tell me. Pac's like, man, you might want to just, I don't know, you gotta just calm down, Charlie. Oh, even Pac's telling me to calm down. This is some BS. I can't go down there. Are you for real? Hold on. I see people get possessed all the time. You're telling me I can't go down there and possess somebody and backhand somebody else? You're telling me I can't do that at all? Charlie wants to go inside Turning Point like Jesus went into the temple and start flipping tables. That's what Charlie wants to do right now. And I can't say what Charlie wants to do. I would be enraged. Even in heaven. I'd be bending my halo. I'd be like, what the fuck is going on down there? But anyway, this clip, he's talking about something really, really weird. What they were doing at Charlie's memorial. He got this from Diligent Denizen, but he is the one that found the part of this Twitter Spaces. I could not find it, so he did. Good for him, and thank you so much. And I'm not ignoring you, Mr. Let Go. We do have to do a live sometime soon.
Voters at Charlie's Memorial?
Yes.
What?
That's wild.
Yeah, I thought that was disgusting, and I just remember thinking, I just kept getting more and more discouraged, and I was exhausted.
At this point, who is kind of like taking the front-facing position as far as leadership at TPUSA or Turning Point Action, right? Like, there remain Tyler Boyer, I imagine, for Turning Point Action, who you work for, but who's really visible now? Is it Erika? Is it Andrew Colvett? Is it Tyler Boyer? Who's like perceived as in charge, according to the, from your experience as a worker, or maybe like the chatter you had heard working for the organization?
Honestly, Erika, like Andrew Kovacs, he's pretty much like by her side, but no, she transitioned very fast to I think it was 8 days she was appointed CEO after he passed away. And yeah, she became the face really quick.
And this is Spaces from X last night. And this is a fresh interview. Nobody has heard this. Shout out to Diligent Denizen. I wanted to make his face, his logo like super big because I want to give him all the credit. So follow this guy right here, Diligent Denizen, on X, because this was a very eye-opening interview from an ex Turning Point USA employee. And she says some very disturbing things that Turning Point USA was doing and what they were involved with. And the second she started having, feelings about like, I don't know about this, they started going crazy, snatching her phone and doing all these other things. And this is absolutely crazy. Listen to this.
They had you guys registering voters at Charlie's Memorial?
Yes.
So I want y'all to think about this, because I have to set a narrative that they are.
That's very, very, very interesting. So I'm not going to play the whole thing. I just wanted to get that point across, that while Erika is saying all of this, when it came to the memorial, they were also being prompted by whoever's in charge. And I guess at that time it would have been Erika, or, Andrew, whoever, somebody was in charge of this whole thing. And they prompted people to start registering at Charlie's Memorial. Do you know how crazy that is? But again, and this goes back to what Lance said, and he's kind of right about this. My researcher who's helping me, he's Lance Twiggs. Have you heard of him? I'm kidding. His last name's not Twiggs. But he was saying like this is like often at work. That is a perfect example of what often is. So many people ask me over and over again, what is often? There's there's Mortal Kombat Ultra. Okay. Mortal Kombat spelled with a K. There's that. And then its successor was Often. Now, there was a few offshoots for Mortal Kombat Ultra, but one of them was Often, and Often focused on rituals and seances and witchcraft, basically. The esoteric of things, to see if they could have people under a spell of sorts using that instead of using everything else that Mortal Kombat Ultra had you use. And this tactic that they're using by getting people to register while at the memorial, it's a basic thing. You have people in this highly emotional state, right? You have Jack Posobiec every 10 minutes saying the left killed Charlie, the left killed Charlie. They celebrated, they watched. You have him doing that, this whole thing. It's like a chant. It's like a mantra. You guys are seeing this over and over again. And then you get to the larger than life WWE pyrotechnic dripping memorial with all of the huge conservative voices there. And then they say, would you like to register to vote? Just wondering if you'd like to. Is that something you want to do? I don't know who are you going to vote for? You're just in front of all this thing. The press is there, vice VP's there, everybody's there, and Charlie's gone, and it's so sad. And there's a politician carrying a cross with wheels on it. I'm not even making that part up. I'm not even joking. That's a real thing that was happening, right? And then you see all that, and you go, yeah, You want to rally up behind that. That's a tactic that they use. That is a symbolic belief manipulation. And that is one of the things it is written down that they actually use to get people into these altered states. Because you being enraged, when you're blood red mad, that's an altered state. You being sad to the point where you can't talk or you're crying, that's an altered state. Like, people always think of substances when they think of altered states, but it could just be high emotion, high excitement. That is an altered state. And that's what they put them in when they're at the memorial. So, of course, they're going to be like, hey, do you want to register? Because they're trying to pull people in. Very sad. Let's keep going with the Zoom call because there's more. Candace's face throughout the Zoom call.
The prophetic mind of my husband was that he always planned for the future. You guys are obviously aware of like Vision 2025, but Charlie was also working on Vision 2030 in the weeks leading up to September 10th. And he was working really closely with Justin. And that's why Justin had been appointed the role of COO, because he was literally, I remember phone calls when Charlie and I would take our night walks, and it would be 10 o'clock at night, and him and Justin would just be talking about the plans. I was aware of the plans. I have his journals that are aware of the plans. Like, there is no confusion.
The journals are aware of the plans. Hey, what? I'm aware of the plans. I knew everything. It went from 2025 all the way to 2030 and even beyond that. And I have all the journals. Can't show them to you. That's rude of you to even suggest that you ever see the journals. And yeah, so we're just moving forward with the plan. It's not like there's anybody in the background completely pulling the strings. That's not what's happening. I was made aware of the plans. I heard phone calls and I have journals. So everything I do is completely just Charlie, Apple tried to do the same thing when Steve Jobs passed away. Apple was like, this is all Steve. This Steve's idea. Hey, this one is by Steve. And by the time it got to like iPhone 8, 9, we were like, this ain't Steve. Come on, stop this. You listen, you made the sizes different. He said, never make the sizes different. This is not Steve. Okay. This is Cook. This is Tim Cook. This is cooked. This is what this is. But I still got one. I got the biggest one I could. I'm just saying, for a long time, they were trying to pull the strings and be like, oh, this is all Steve. And that's what she's doing right there. I mean, even just saying that the way she did, it's like, there's a clip that's actually going to mention this when they're talking about Tyler Robinson and the text messages. But there's too much leading. In like a bad movie, they lead, right? They'll say, well, you guys know my dad and who he is, right? He's the leader of XYZ, and he's been doing this for a long time. And if he hears that you guys are messing with Philadelphia mints, you're going to end up in the Wayback Machine. That machine that helps you travel in time that only I and a few others have access to, like that type of thing in a movie. And you're like, okay, you're telling me everything, so I know. Okay, I understand, right? That's exactly what Erika's doing there.
Of what's to come.
Allegedly, maybe, perhaps.
And I want to give you guys that reassurance that it's full steam ahead. And the board and I are working with Justin and the executive leadership teams to make sure that all of those plans come into effect 2030 and beyond. But
when they first started, it was 2025. They're like, oh, he had plans all the way up to like, they started at 2028 because that was the election. And then all of a sudden they were like, no, 2030. Now she's saying 2030 and beyond. Okay. Just beyond, just no date. Didn't want to set a date. Just, I don't know, beyond, I don't know. 2100. How about that? All right. You'll all be gone by then, right? Okay, perfect. Let's go with that.
And I'm so grateful for all of you. I'm so proud of all of you. You honor my husband so well. All of you do. And it's weird to say I'm excited. I really hesitate saying that. It's really hard for me to say that. It's a really weird thing to say. But I think it comes from a space of peace, knowing that God's using this, and we're humbly witnessing the gospel in real time.
I don't know what to say. She doesn't want to say she's happy. I don't want to say I'm happy, but where it comes from, let me explain the happiness I feel. It comes from peace.
I don't want to say I'm happy. Listen, I'm not going to say I'm happy. I'm not going to say, but there will be signs. You know, just sounds so happy. You know, just sounds really happy. Which, I mean, it's like, that would be great if someone passed away and the person's happy. You know, you don't want to be sad forever. But I'll tell you something. You want them to be sad for a little while. Just a little while at least. No? Listen, I pass away. I want everybody to be happy later. Not right away. What? Not right away. I need a few days, you know? I need a few days of, you know, I need a few weeks, right? Those of you that go for a few months, thank you, you know, much appreciated, right? But I need at least a month. For my wife, I need a year and a half. That's what I need. I need a year and a half. That's what I need. I don't know, man. At least, come on, 5 days? 5 days and you're giggling about therapy dogs? No, that's absolutely nuts. Absolutely nuts. Let's see what I got here. Let's keep on going. Actually, you know what? Hold on a quick second. There was somebody, I'm seeing a lot of these. Here it is. I was going to read super chats at the end, but there's this person. I'm noticing somebody, Nessie 3520. My son passed exactly 1 year ago, and I'm tearing up typing this. I work nonstop, day after day. I couldn't deal with the pain. His dad stepped up and did 90%. I couldn't accept it, still can't. Erika is on some BS. I did not think that's how you were going to end that super chat, by saying Erika is on some BS. I did not expect that from the beginning of it to the end. Okay. But yeah, prayers to you. And thank you for sharing that. And I'm sorry for your loss. And yeah, it's hard. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is a perfect example of what everybody is talking about when they see Erika acting the way she is that, come on, how is there not more people, or how are you not more upset? That reaction that you're talking about there, Nessie, is exactly what everybody would do and everybody is expecting, right? That's exactly it, 100%. Let's keep going here. Let's keep on moving here. But thank you so much for just saying that, and just being open about that. Really appreciate it. And sorry for your loss. You know, 1 year ago today is just, it's crazy. Ah, man. And then again, you're seeing people who are super happy. It makes you, like the rest of us who don't have that type of loss happening exactly today, we're like, this is crazy. You know, that person who has it 1 year ago today, and she's still tearing up as she's typing it. Like, yeah, that's how that goes when someone so important to you is gone, you know? Let's keep going there. But again, thank you and prayers to you and your family.
Project 2030. And then she's going to kind of want to say that she's happy, but then catch herself realizing that would be kind of weird to say that she's happy. Take a listen.
The prophetic mind of my husband.
Oh, we already played this one. But yeah, and on top of that, can I just say really quick, I'm just going to go into a little bit of a bag here. The fact that she's saying that she has plans up till 2030 is very, very interesting. Because if you don't know, there's something called Project 2030. Project 2030 is something that Klaus Schwab spoke about quite a bit. I believe he even wrote a book that doesn't detail Project 2030, but details something he calls the fourth industrial revolution. And this is where people start merging with machines and things of that nature. That's where he feels the world's going. That's where he's like kind of pushing the world when they all go to Davos. This is the type of stuff they're discussing. And, you know, if you notice, you see it pop up a lot, right? You'll see it pop up. Now that I'm saying it to you, Watch how many places it pops up. 2030. There is a real focus on that year for some reason. Klaus is very focused on it. He says there's a lot of things that should be happening by then. The whole thing of owning nothing and being happy kind of correlates with that. It's not exactly when they want it to happen, but it seems like there is some kind of push that's happening, and it seems like everything has to be done in 2030. Now, I don't know what that would be. I don't even know what the push is exactly. There's many different things. There's many different facets to this push. There's many different facets to Agenda 2030. But it's very interesting that she's like, oh, we have plans until 2030, right? Especially since, again, when it started, or when all of this first started and she was on podcasts and everything, they were like, oh, he has until 2028. And that was election time. So I was like, oh, okay, that's a little on the nose, but they're saying election time. And then she said 2030. And I was like, oh, that's really weird. That's actually really weird. Let's just get into the last thing, and then we'll jump off of this subject. This is the thing where she talks about what's the most traumatizing.
To get closer to accepting that it was real. I went away for 2 weeks. I didn't really catch the fact that it was an in-person meeting until later. 8 days after his public assassination, she sits down for a piece with the publication that hated Charlie the entire time he was alive. New York Times was constantly writing hate pieces about Charlie Kirk, or pieces that just were not kind or favorable to Charlie Kirk. So it's an interesting decision. And reading the article, or rereading, because somebody said you should actually go back and revisit everything that transpired in the days after, and you kind of have new eyes, and that's very true. But in reading that article in retrospect, something that I am particularly struck by is the fact that she describes suddenly being forced into the single mother position as the quote unquote least traumatizing thing. Becoming a single mother suddenly, 8 days later, she describes it as the least traumatizing thing. Again, that's an exact quotation. I'll read it. You can see it. They're going into this. They're speaking about Trump's energy and his tone toward her on phone calls. And it reads, quote, from her, the president's tone, she said, was soft and embracing. I could tell he wanted to hug me. Others have responded in the same manner to Ms. Kirk, now left to care for a 3-year-old daughter and a 1-year-old son. That new life, Ms. Kirk said, quote, is actually the least traumatizing thing for me, since she herself has been raised by her mother after their parents divorced when she was young.
Candace is mad. I'm telling you, it's on from here on out. I mean, keep in mind, there's like a whole legal process in that's happening right now. And Candace is like, I don't care. I heard the Zoom call, and we're going to continue. Just let me know how much you're suing me for, and I'll have that to you right away. But this is not stopping. That's her basic attitude that she has in this. I mean, this face says it all. She's, hey, are you going to stop? She's like, I don't think so. No, I don't think so. I think something absolutely terrible happened. I'm telling you, man, that Zoom call is weird. Weird. That is a very odd thing. Yeah. I mean, Barron actually called it out. Barron said his opinion wasn't a fact or anything like that. It was his opinion that he thought that she knew something prior to Charlie passing away. And that person is Erika. That's what Barron was saying. And then this Zoom call, maybe he heard the Zoom call before. I don't know. But then this Zoom call drops, and it's just like, oh, okay. This is nuts. And it kind of makes you think that. The way the person's being nonchalant like this. I'm telling you, man. I'd be the worst. If I was in charge, I'd be like, listen, I know you're running the company. You just got to come with me, it's just formality. Hands behind your back, please. If I was Cash, not Dan Bongino left. If I was Cash, I would be grabbing my handcuffs with my hands that are soaked in honey for no particular reason, because his girlfriend is just an upstanding citizen who's only loyal to America and no other place. And then I'd be like, hands behind your back. My handcuffs are kind of sticky, but hands behind your back, please. It's nuts. It's nuts. I don't know. In an investigation, jokes aside, in an investigation, wouldn't that be something? Right? For some reason, Cash is acting like everything is nothing, and only the things surrounding Tyler are something. I just find it so weird, because that would be if I was an investigator. I'm not, but if I was, and I heard that, I'd be like, oh, I'm gonna ask her some questions. Would that be crazy? Would that be heartless? I don't think so, man. I don't think so. I think you'd be right on the nose doing that. Again, I don't know if she knew anything, but man, when you hear that Zoom call, it's nuts. Somebody said build back better. Yes, when I'm talking about Project 2030, when they were saying build back better, when every place was saying build back better, that's the type of stuff that I'm talking about, actually. Yeah, 100%. You hit that on the nose. Please hit the like button, guys. It helps the channel tremendously. It helps this live stream tremendously. We're going to move on to something that probably, if you don't have X, you have not seen before. Candace actually said this after her stream. She said, I'm still stuck on the fact that Turning Point raised $250 million over a few months and felt zero shame attacking YouTubers for making thousands of dollars discussing the flaws of the investigation. The shamelessness of that PR strategy is absolutely wild to reflect on. Yeah, man. Yeah. How about that, huh? They're like, there's people making money. There's people making money, like literally, like they're just sitting there like the Joker on a pile of money. There's people making money here. No, you want a light? Hold on. I got 10,000 stack here. You want to? Here. There's people making money. This is absolutely ridiculous. Just burning money, just throwing it in the air. I can't believe you guys just draped in money, all over you. Just money everywhere. Coins, bills, checks. And you're sending out bracelets. You're just throwing bracelets around, like Wolves in Finance said. You're just throwing bracelets. You're like, here you go. I have $250 million. Maybe more, honestly. I mean, after AmFest, I would think that they made more money. I mean, every time they have an event, there's a push for more money. So I would imagine positioning it like, hey, we're not having, Dave Smith on. Yeah, we had Tucker, but we made sure to have Ben Shapiro spoke right after Erika. And he called Candace the R word, huh? Who wants to donate? I'm sure there's a bunch of people that stepped in. There must have been. So I would think $250 million. It's probably a little higher now. But that was the last thing that Candace said on that whole topic. Now we have something else here. This is going to be a little something. This is about Charlie being gifted. It was figured out that the school was the Quest Academy. I had that knowledge already. I did not have the knowledge that it was named something else before. I'm going to be showing you that. I'm going to be showing you some clips from an old podcast I recorded with my wife. We used to do some real serious breakdowns of some different projects and experiments and etc. And then I'm going to read off to you somebody who actually had an experience in the GATE program. I'm just going to read everything that they said. They're just talking about some tests that they remember. And yeah. So it's going to make sense after I play the Montauk stuff. But let's start off with this clip here.
So led me to another stunning discovery that we have made in large part thanks to internet sleuths. There was a lot of media panicking when we discussed Project Looking Glass. We discussed the fact that Charlie was indeed a gifted child who went to a literal children's school for the gifted. I told you guys also that street lights used to go out when he ran. There's a whole term for that. Apparently, a lot of people go through that. We saw that in the comment section. Now, what does it all mean? On my episode, I posited that the military was keeping its eye on quote unquote GATE children, gifted children, by different names, but terming it more broadly, children that go through the GATE program. That Charlie's life may have therefore been a literal Truman Show once they realized that he was extraordinarily gifted. So let me remind you that when Charlie was having these visions about his death back in 2018, he specifically told me that he knew from the moment that he began Turning Point USA that he was going to die young. I'm going to re-show you this text message again so you can see it. Literally, he writes, since the beginning of Turning Point USA, I knew in my gut that I might get wiped out at any time. I cannot explain it, but I dream about it all the time, like all the time. Not really afraid of it, but I'm just telling you what I know to be true. I'm not sure I'm going to live, begins with, I'm not sure I'm going to live to see the end of this revolution. But interesting that he says, since the beginning of Turning Point USA, we should probably therefore go back to the founding story of Turning Point USA. The story the public knows, and the story that I was told, is that Charlie was this teenager, didn't get into West Point. Anyway, he's speaking at a conference where a man named Bill Montgomery happened to be in attendance. He has since passed. I met Bill Montgomery. He's very kind to me. And my point in bringing this up is not to throw any shade on him, but because I'm now interested in this origin story. Anyways, he's in attendance. He's absolutely floored at Benedictine University when Charlie speaks. He immediately knew that he was sort of looking at a future president. This is an article, I think it was done in The Atlantic back in, it doesn't matter what year. Anyways, it reads in The Atlantic, Montgomery was at Benedictine University in western Chicago suburb of Lisle, Illinois, for the college's Youth Government Day in May of 2012. The slate of speakers put the kids to sleep, he told the National Journal. But when Kirk took the floor, the energy in the room completely changed. The kids weren't sleeping anymore, and their attention was wrapped on Kirk. Inspired, Montgomery went up to him after his speech and told him, as only a man 50 years senior can say, that he needed to delay college to pursue a higher calling. Quote, "I don't know you," Montgomery recalled saying, "but you need to start an organization to reach out to young people with your message." A month after Montgomery met Kirk, the duo launched Turning Point USA. I want you to hold on to that phrase, "I don't know you, but." Again, that's the same story that I was told. So I was a bit surprised to learn that there may be a larger story here. Now, Bill Montgomery was...
You know, the one missing piece that's happening as she talks about this type of stuff is the guy who was with Charlie from that X-Men school, okay, the gifted school, and was around Charlie for spiritual purposes. That is the missing piece. That guy. Because I can't find a connection between Bill and the people that started that school. Now, Candace says she got a tip. We've been trying to find the information there. Maybe we have to find some maiden names to make it actually click as we're researching, but I couldn't find anything in regards to that, okay? But I'm going to go with Candace as a source of that. But also, if we just knew who that man was, that would be the main missing piece that we all need to know. Because that guy is probably the connective tissue between Bill and the people that started the school. Now, she's saying that they all work together. I couldn't find any traces of that or anything like that. But again, who knows? If she found it, she found it. Sometimes, you know, I find things, they can't find things. Like, that's just the way it goes sometimes. But if we knew who that guy was, that man that was there for, that Philadelphian man who was there for spiritual purposes, if we knew who that was, all of this would make way more sense. And it would probably look way more sinister, I think, because that guy probably knows Bill. That's what makes sense to me, because that guy falls away. And the second that guy falls away, Bill steps into the picture. And the second that Bill steps away, or passes away, I should say, the second he passes away, Rob McCoy and Frank Turek are there. Like, I mean, it's just like that handling process is all the way through from the time he's a kid, right? He has the program, he has the spiritual man, he has Bill, and then he has Frank Turek and Rob McCoy the whole way through. And I don't know, I know that, you know, Candace talks about Bill being naval intel, I believe, Air Force. But she talks about him being in there. He doesn't have any connections to like any psychological operations or anything like that. I already looked into him that way. That was the first thing I looked into. But Rob McCoy definitely does. And that man, that spiritual purposes man, probably did as well. You know, just in the sense of you're dealing with all these kids who have these heightened senses and all of these crazy abilities, you know, he probably knows a thing or two, especially sitting down with a young man and validating his suspicions that he's going to die young. And on top of that, if you connect the dots here, Candace just said that Charlie felt that way the day that he started Turning Point, which means that that man was validating what Charlie was saying from the time Charlie was, I think he started at 18 with Bill. So that means that that man, spiritual man, was with Charlie while he met Bill, was validating these whole things that you're going to die young. And then at some point fell away or didn't. That's the thing, or didn't. Maybe he didn't fall away. I have no idea. I have no clue. The spiritual man could have been Rob McCoy the whole time. I don't know. I have no idea. But it's just very weird. He had this handling. He had this, from 18 to 31, he had this whole handling process going on the entire time. And I mean, when I say Frank Turek was literally a mentor. He had the explicit purpose of being a mentor. That's why Frank Turek was around Charlie. And Frank Turek knew Rob McCoy. And Rob McCoy randomly, quote unquote, meets Charlie the same way Bill randomly met Charlie. Now Charlie's gone and Bill's gone and the company's thriving under a new CEO, and everything that was being questioned is no longer being questioned anymore. I mean, it's just, I don't know, man. It's pretty crazy. Let's keep going here, and then we're gonna switch over to, oh yeah, that's the spiritual man. Yeah, I did some research. The spiritual guy is this guy. Could you imagine? Charlie, who's the guy that you've been hanging out with? Oh, it was Major Mike. Major Mike. Yeah, he's a Church of Satan. Yeah, he's a real nice guy, just a spiritual guy. This is the type of guy to look at you and say, you are gonna die young. You're correct. Just 100%. You're correct. Does look like Erika. Really does. Really does. I love that theory. Really does look like Erika. You know what? In fact, I'll listen to this a couple of more seconds, but then we're just going to jump over to the podcast I did because I think you guys have to hear that. And then we're going to read some GATE program stories.
Air Force. He's in the Air Force Reserves. Bill Montgomery also happened to be from Lincoln, Nebraska. Getting into that, one of those Egyptian plane stops. A lot of these people are tied to Lincoln, Nebraska that are in this story. Saving that for another day. Now, not much is known about what specifically Bill Montgomery did during his time in the military, but we do know that he moved to the Chicago area thereafter, which obviously in the area where Charlie's X-Men school was. The X-Men school, I just like to call it that, was actually called Creative Children's Academy. It opened in 1982 for the academically gifted, from preschool up into the 8th grade. In 1999, it changed its name officially to Quest Academy. It tells us on its website, in a past article, that it receives corporate and private funding from who we don't know. I would like to know what corporations funded that academy.
Black budgets. We couldn't find anything. We were looking into that. I was looking into it. Lance was looking into it, and we couldn't find anything. It's very hard when it comes to donors and things like that. It's very hard. I would think black budget. If you don't know what a black budget is, I don't mean insert random black joke, but I mean it's dark money. You don't know where this money's coming from. Usually like the Pentagon or whatever. It's coming from some dark place. And it's moving very dark, and it's not really tracked as much, and it's getting funneled into something. There's a lot of black budget stuff that goes around. I would think it's that, because you can't really be seen doing that type of thing, right? I don't know though. I have no idea. It could just be a company. It could just be a company. It could just be Bill. It could be a guy like Bill, right? That's just doing that and just donates a bunch of stuff, has a spiritual, quote unquote, spiritual man on the inside. When you find a certain person that has these qualities, let me know, because I want to start this thing, because we need something that's going to generate money and is actually going to start shaping public opinion. And I need somebody young at the center of it. It could be that, right? I'm just throwing out a scenario here. Now, as we keep going here, let's jump over to this. Okay, this is where she talks about it some more. And then we're going to get into my clips.
And this is correct, an adolescent psychiatric nurse. So she was a psychiatric nurse to the youth. And that she was actually the person that started the school with Helene Bartz. And that has since virtually been wiped from public record. But that's what you're missing, is that these people all knew each other. The person claims that Bill and his wife and a certain Robert Flood, who is in Dan Flood's family, this is what they claim, and I have since found this person, said that they knew each other since before the school even got started. They were all working for this evangelical company, evangelical sales force known as the Shackley Corporation. It's still in existence today. I'm going to give you a bit of information. The Shackley Corporation was the first company that ever created a multivitamin in America. It grew to be a massive, basically a middle-level management corporation, which, like I said, commanded this evangelical sales force. Shaklee was basically described as like a religious fervor that was sweeping the nation for nutrition. It was started by a man who preached the gospel of nutrition, buy our products, but also the gospel is what this is really about. And it grew to be a massive company that engaged in a 25-year contract with NASA. You're like, what? Yeah, for supplements that they could take to space. Now, it sounds to me like some good old-fashioned government money laundering, but sure, if you are like Skylar and believe in the moon landing, sure, maybe you need some vitamins up there.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, so let's jump over to this whole thing, because she touches on this project. She calls it Monarch, but I know what she's talking about, and yes, it's a little vain. I am on the screen, okay? I am on the screen. This is the old studio. Some of you guys don't even know about this studio. This is the old studio. You kidding me? This is when I used to do the interviews or videos with my wife. Check this out. We're just breaking down what Project Montauk or Monarch or Camp Hero actually is. Check it out.
World War II was done. They transferred it from, I think it was the Navy who had it.
Mm-hmm.
They moved it, they transferred it to the Air Force.
Okay.
So it was with the Air Force from about 1953 until 1981.
Okay.
And it was the Montauk Air Base or something like that. I don't remember exactly what the name was.
Okay.
And then after that, like, it shut down.
Mm-hmm.
And then it got absorbed by the state of New York. They like turned it into a park. And it's really nice. You can go walk around. There's only a couple areas with like old military stuff that's cordoned off.
When did they start creating time traveling children?
I'm getting there.
That's what I want to know. Yeah,
You're
go
so
ahead.
funny. So there was 11 years after it shut down in 1992, there was a book that came out, and it was called The Montauk Project: Experiments in Time.
By Preston?
Oh, what was his name?
Preston B. Nichols?
Yes,
There you
exactly.
Yep.
So this guy, I was like, who is he? Like, I couldn't find much on him. And then I found the book on Google, Google Books and things. Where did it go? I'm trying to look up the thing again, but I can't find it. But he was just, about the author in that section that was selling his book said he was one of the leading minds in electromagnetic experimentation and science, basically. Okay. And then it went on to say that he like was living a double life, and he didn't realize that he was experimenting on things that he like didn't know about. Like, he was there, thought he was just doing his normal work, like doing normal experiments, and then found out it got a lot deeper.
I read that he actually had repressed memories.
Oh, really?
Being one of these people.
Yeah, like,
and
he
that's
was also
where
talking
the
about
book
like
comes from.
Yeah, that it was all like brainwashing and stuff.
He said he uncovered these repressed memories, and that when he remembered what happened in that a group of, I guess, kids, people, him and some others destroyed a bunch of stuff, and then the other participants had their memories wiped.
Wow.
And his, I guess, was wiped too, but it was more repressed, and he was able to uncover those memories.
Okay, I found the thing.
Fully documented, by the way. Not speculation. That is documented. That is just, you can read about that. That is not something that's being made up. It's not a random thing I found from an account, a faceless account on X. That is a real thing that you can look up. The actual guy doesn't remember things. Memories getting wiped. That is real, 100%. Please like the video as well. Please, as someone said, we're trying to get it to 3,000. Let's try and get it to 5,000. Please, if you're in here, helps so much. You have no idea.
On Google Books. So it says, one of the foremost experts in the world on electromagnetic phenomena, Preston Nichols, worked as a radar technician and discovered he had been living a secret life at the Montauk Air Force Station, where he participated in a project that used radar to influence the moods of living creatures and also to influence the weather and also matter.
Oh, wow.
Eventually, this research expanded to manipulating time itself, sending people into the past and future. And this is about the author section.
Really?
Like, what the hell?
That's very interesting.
How strange is that?
I believe it. I don't think it's strange at all.
I think it's super weird to have that as about the author.
Well, yeah, about the author, but like just the fact of like that happening to a person, I think we play God all the time. Why wouldn't we try and figure out time travel?
Yeah.
You know?
So then the book is written in like a first person style, like it's like saying like I, but it's about these characters. And there was one part where he was talking about like time travel and going back to meet Jesus.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's no good.
So people,
Well, I guess it is good, but interesting.
Yeah, people were thinking this is like, it's classified as science fiction, like a fiction novel. But when you pull out like the different theories in this, that's what people really kind of lock onto and what things are based on. So one of them was that homeless people were abducted and subjected.
And that's true as well. Homeless, all sorts. Let's keep going here. I have another clip. Somebody just said, sounds like you got a good one with a winking face. Hey, you want to fight? You want to fight? You talking about my wife? You want to fight? You want to fight now? Or you want to fight after? What do you want to do? I'm off. I'm off here 1 o'clock. So we can meet. We can meet where you want to meet. I'm just kidding. I did get a good one. You're 100% right. Thank you. Thank you for noticing. She is the best one, in fact. Absolutely the best one. And, she's the one that gives me kids. The one that gives me kids is the best one. Absolutely. Gives me family. Gives me purpose. Absolutely. Let's keep going here.
Yeah.
Just seeing what they can do. For sure.
Yeah, true. And then another one says people had their psychic abilities enhanced to the point where they could materialize objects out of thin air.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. But they also say it was at the cost of emotional instability, post-traumatic stress disorder, and other issues.
Yeah. Well,
so like fried their brain, basically.
Yeah, you can't have it all.
Yeah.
Like, if you're able to do that, you're not going to be able to, read a room. Have a
when you can just like poof, make whatever you want.
Yeah, it's a trade-off. Like, look at Elon Musk, right? Like, everyone's like, oh, he's hilarious. Let's keep going here. More about this whole thing. Now, this is where it starts connecting to like Stranger Things and X-Men and all this weird stuff.
Yeah. And then there was a porthole in time was created, which allowed researchers to travel anywhere in time or space. And it was developed into a stable time tunnel, they called it.
Really?
Yeah, that's what it says.
Okay.
And then contact was made with alien extraterrestrials through the time tunnel, and technology was exchanged with them, which enhanced the project. And this allowed broader access to hyperspace.
What?
Yeah, whatever that is.
Oof. I like that.
Yeah.
Hyperspace? Hyperspace would be
like between worlds.
I'm going to explain hyperspace to you. But I would expect
quantum
it to be
physicist over here.
Something like like if I had to just break it down like a highway, I would think. Like,
that's what I thought it was too, but I don't understand.
Here's the thing now that I know a little bit more and I know about Project Often, I know that it's not hyperspace and it's not some highway. It's actually them communicating through seance and ritual, which is what Often was focused on, so they could access other beings in a different realm and get access to technology through them, the same way Jack Parsons did and Aleister Crowley did and Nikola Tesla did. I know you love Nikola Tesla, but that's what he was doing. He was very deep in the occult. He admits it himself. And many others even today are doing, right? That's how they have access to a lot of the wild tech that we are starting to experience. And that's why that tech seems like it doesn't have the best intentions for us as people and our purpose and our work and our lives and things of that nature. Anyway, let's do the whole Stranger Things part, and then we'll jump over to some actual stories from someone who was in the GATE program.
And it was fully called out.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. And when I pull this up, let me switch over here. When I pull this up, look at this. It's the Stranger Things kid. There he is. Now hold on. They're gonna ask him some questions. Look at
Like, do you know who Vanna White is? Maybe she was before your time.
Most people aren't.
Is Stranger Things based on a true story?
Yeah, actually. It is based on a place in Montauk, New York called Camp Hero. There was, like, rumors of secret government spies, like, doing human experiments to fight in the Cold War. Like,
Russians, yeah.
It's exactly what's happening in Stranger Things. And so it's based on that one government lab in Montauk, New York, which is a real place you can go visit, but you're not allowed in. Why? Nobody knows.
Nobody knows. Is Stranger...
Dang.
That's your proof.
That's enough for me. That's enough for me. The guy actually says, yeah, it's a real place. And just so you know, if you actually know about X-Men, okay? And yeah, I'm going into X-Men. If you know about X-Men, Wolverine fought in the Cold War. He's hundreds of years old.
Yeah.
He was one of the first. Something happened. So this is all connected in terms of these stories, right? X-Men, these stories. Wolverine did fight in the Cold War. If you remember, if you go back, if you're like a comic, if you're alive when comics were around, he has this aspect to him where he's been around for a long time, and he did fight in the Cold War. And that is where his mutant abilities started. They started when he was a kid, but then he was in the Cold War. For some reason, they knew to have him and his brother in the Cold War, found out about the extent of his abilities, thought it was just healing really quickly, realized that there was more to it, then started doing the experiments on him, then realized that they could do something to his bones, etc., etc. But the whole X-Men school is actually based on Camp Hero, because that's the type of stuff they were doing, and that's the type of stuff they were honing in on. Then from there, they started finding, I shouldn't say they started finding, they kind of worked hand in hand with these GATE programs. They started figuring out that we could just find people who have these aspects to them. We could pull them out of regular school, put them in these schools, and slowly integrate them into what we're doing at a place like Camp Hero. And on top of that, the guy who's writing this book that we're talking about at the beginning, he had completely repressed memories and remembered doing all of this stuff, all of these tests, which is exactly what so many people, adults now, in the GATE program report. As they start hearing things, all the memories that were repressed come flooding back. How do those memories get repressed? I don't know. I don't know what they do for that part of things. But I mean, you could use your imagination on how you would get someone to repress a memory. What kind of memories get repressed? What has to happen? It's usually something very traumatic. Now, let's get into these stories here. I guess I'm not going to say the name. Did she want me to say the name, or didn't she want me to say the name? I think she had no problem with me saying the name, but she did not want to be on camera. Let's keep going here. Let's jump over here really quick. I'm not going to pull it up. I'm just going to read it just because her name will pop up and everything. Wait, did she want me to use her name? She said, you can use my name if you want. Okay. I can say it on camera. No, she said she didn't want to say it on camera. Okay, so this is Megan. Megan actually gave me this. I wanted her to be on camera. She did not want to be on it. She said, let's see my time in GATE. I went to a private Catholic school where we had tutor vans outside of the school, taught by teachers not affiliated with the school. Those vans aren't there today. I went through in the early 90s on scholarship, just like Candace was offered. It was presented to my mom, who was a teacher, my mom was a teacher there. However, was only a substitute and there occasionally. So why they would provide us, me and my older brother, with a scholarship to higher education. Although grateful as an adult, I would often wonder why. Exactly. That's exactly what I was talking about with Candace. It's like, why on earth are they going to look at you and say, hey, you know what? We just want to make sure you get a great education. You want to just come? No, it's a free ride. Don't even worry about it. You're just going to go to another school. Go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah, no, it's fine. It's fine. You'll be fine. Come on. It's very, very weird. Then we're going to jump into this part. She says, things I remember, I was sent there for reading comprehension. Funny thing is, I only recall reading one book the 3 years I went. Also, my mother was an English teacher, and I was always subject to summer reading through her, whether school needed it or not. It was constant games, mostly focused on memory and recall. This would often be followed up by what they called emotional regulation. As a child, I would consider this a form of meditation. As an adult, I would consider this a form of meditation. I, of course, remember other aspects like the cards. This is something that they do. The card games and the hearing tests, but I feel like people talk enough about those that the games and the scholarship aspect might be something to consider looking into. My speculation, as stated in the super chat, my grandfather worked with B.F. Goodrich and developed the first run flat tire, helped in developing the first spacesuit. I have pictures of him in that spacesuit. My mother was at Kent State for the shooting, and my father was in the Korean War helping to spread Agent Orange. Jeez. Okay, so you have the background. I didn't even realize this, as she was saying. So she has the background. That's why this is happening. All of those things, along with both of my brothers and my gifted abilities in music, so many of the games being centered around music and pitch, which is frequency, when you really think about it. Frequency, and when it came to the whole time travel thing that Candace got like ripped apart for, that whole time travel thing, if you look into Robert Monroe, it was based on frequency, AKA pitch. So the reason that they would test these kids and do hearing tests for pitch is because they were trying to see if these kids could get on a certain frequency. And if they could, they would be good at remote viewing. They would be better at ESP. They would be able to see the future. They'd be able to see what's going to happen in a certain instance, like Charlie was able to, which is why he was able to know that he was going to die young. Things of that nature. Things that make you go, There were one-on-one tutoring sessions where we were removed. My brother went all the way through St. Francis K through 12, whereas I got out at the 6th grade to go to public school because I couldn't handle everything. I couldn't handle everything I was going through there. However, I went to a music-heavy performing arts school, and my tutors from the Vans showed up sometimes at concerts and musicals I was in. I don't know if it matters, but others from my high school have had decent careers in entertainment, for example, like Scott and Chris Paff, P-F-A-F-F. Well, how do you say that? Paff? Picked the wrong person with names. Or Big Cat and Drama, as most would know them from MTV's Robin Big Fantasy. Oh, geez, really? What? Fantasy Factory, or Jason Doughton, who has been in a lot, but most notably the mother in Netflix, Ivy and Bean. I'm no one, but I did break my neck then walk my friends through how to save me before getting in an ambulance. I have that news story too, if you'd like confirmation. That would be cool. That would be really cool. I also have pictures of all of the above named, myself from 5 years old and up. That's what I have. Hopefully it gives you a different perspective on things and what to look for. Or, like I said, I'm not no one, and I admit I know nothing. Very interesting stuff. And the fact that the people from the Vans, the tutors, would show up to where she was, that kind of hints at what Charlie was going through. There's a man that's around for spiritual purposes, right? She goes on to then say, I actually take back wanting to be on camera. Yeah. I figured. It's okay. It's completely okay. Anybody else who wants to talk, you don't have to be on camera. You can send me messages. You can send me voice notes, things like that. It's all good. I know a lot of people don't want to be on camera. Completely understand. The game I recall the most because it was my favorite and I'd asked to play it. I was given a worksheet with a pyramid filled with a bunch of little squares inside of it and 2 dice. One had different music notes on it and the other had numbers. So what they're taking her through, to me, it sounds like code breaking. That's one of the things that they try and take people through. They're testing pitch with her. They're testing hearing, quote unquote, frequency, and they're seeing if she can do code breaking. And when you do games like this, they're trying to see if you have precognition, if you can tell what's going to happen in situations. That's what it seems like to me. Obviously, they're not going to tell her that, but that's what it sounds like to me. Notes on it. There were 2 games we would play with this setup. One, I would have to guess exactly what dice would fall on and roll if I got it. If I got it right, I got the color in a square, and the second one, and the second, you're not even saying in a square. The second was okay. So there's supposed to be a period here. Okay, nope, no problem. You're making me seem like I can't read, and that's cool. That's fine. Whatever. The second one was And again, that game that she just mentioned, that's the precognition, seeing if you can actually guess an outcome before it actually occurs. That's the type of thing that they're looking at there. And then, what was the second game? Let me find here. The second one was I got to roll the 2 standard dice, and then whatever the numbers would fall on, I could pick a song that had a signature of those numbers depending on how much I had to do to get to a song, i.e. example, sing or multiply a number to get to a time signature I wanted. Oh, that's interesting. The less and more squares I could color. If I had a song in my head prior to rolling the dice and I announced it, I could get the whole pyramid. I had this like 6 times and remember winning them, but never the song you'd think that be a detail to recall. Please read any and all of what you want tomorrow. Thank you so much, Megan. Yeah, so there's a whole bunch of tests like that. I would love to talk to someone that went to Quest. She didn't go to Quest exactly. I'm pretty sure she didn't go to Quest. But there's just a whole bunch of weirdness when it comes to these tests. I think Charlie was a part of it. 100%. I think Charlie was in this whole thing. It makes perfect sense to me. And yeah. Let's jump in here. We're gonna jump over to the next topic. This gentleman here. And again, if anybody's in the GATE program, you want to talk about it, you want to tell me, maybe there's memories rushing back from you hearing people talk about these games and whatnot, please reach out. I am up for the conversation. I know there's another person here. I'm going to read your story tomorrow. I'm going to be honest, I have to find you. You got lost in the DMs here. I know another person sent me DMs about this exact thing. Now, this person on the screen is Brian Enton. Brian Enton, if you don't know, he's the person that recently sat down with one of Lance Twig's family members who made sure to be completely unnamed, wouldn't even say what kind of family member, couldn't see their face, nothing. And they made sure to tell us that Tyler Robinson is definitely the person to be looking at in this whole thing. It seemed like a very fed slop type of interview. But Brian does do really good work. He makes sure he's in the field. So I don't know. Right? He actually got called out quite a bit by people for that interview. He then made the statement that, listen, he would never do something like that, et cetera, et cetera. You have to choose to believe him or not. I thought it was very interesting that the last question that's going to be asked is about Tyler Robinson, and then the person's just like, Tyler for sure is the person. And it's coming from a person who can't possibly know. In fact, you know what? I should probably find that for you. I should probably find it for you. Because you have to really understand. It doesn't make any sense how the person would know. Lance Twig's family member. Let's see what pops up here. It should be the first thing that pops up. There it is. Okay, perfect. Let's see this. I'll have you guys listen to this really quick. Just they have the right guy apparently. Just listen.
Super smart. I mean, Lance was... I do know that, and I remember, he was a, concert pianist. Like his talent for piano music was off the charts. Like not normal. It was very impressive, and that's kind of what I've heard about Tyler, is that he was just so smart and it's just a shame that these kids that had so much potential and such a bright future.
What do you think changed?
I don't, and then being as antisocial as they were, from my understanding of, playing these games and being a part of this Discord group, it just, they didn't seem like they were in a real world.
There's text messages between Tyler and Lance where they're texting after the event. A lot of people find them unusual.
The world that they were in, like this gaming world, like that was a normal way that they kind of spoke, that this wasn't an abnormal The way they spoke wasn't abnormal.
There have been a lot of questions about where Lance is now, whether he's in the FBI protection program. It's been a big mystery. He kind of has disappeared.
Yeah, my understanding was for the first few weeks, because there were so many threats against his family that and him, that they had. My understanding is they did have a little bit of.
I thought this was a family member. She just said threats around him and his family. See what I mean? This is what I mean about this thing. This is supposed to be a family member, but you just said Lance and his family. Wouldn't it be threats against us? Wouldn't it be threats against our family? Something of that nature? Why would she be positioning herself as away from the family if she's a family member?
They had. My understanding is they did have a little bit of FBI detail, and they kind of moved around a little bit, but they're not anymore. He's with his family.
Will he still cooperate with the investigation from what you know?
He's with his family. You guys catching this? I gotta go back. You guys catching this? He's with his family. This is supposed to be a family member. What happened? Again, I think Brian does great work, but at least call that out. You're sitting in an interview with somebody. And why is the interview 2 minutes? You know? Why isn't this long form? And why isn't it on your YouTube channel? This is when he was doing work for News Nation. He still does work for News Nation.
Against his family that and him, that they had. My understanding is they did have a little bit of FBI detail, and they kind of moved around a little bit, but they're not anymore. He's with his family.
Will he still cooperate with the investigation from what you know?
I don't know. When I first found out about how he was taken in and talked to by the police, I know that they said that he was very cooperative, but they had to go get him and bring him in. He didn't voluntarily go in and say, "Hey, I heard about this and I have some knowledge." He had to go in. Then he handed things over when they asked for him, but he didn't give up any information until he had to.
There are so many theories out there, and I'm sure you've seen them. People think other people are involved, or another government was involved. I mean, you're kind of in the middle of this.
Do you notice something? He says another government is involved. If you look at her hair, she's shaking her head no. How would you know? You're a lady. You're just some lady. A family member, quote unquote. How would you know? How would you know to shake your head and be like, huh, absolutely not. Philadelphia didn't do anything. No. How do you know? What do you have?
Until he had to.
There are so many theories out there, and I'm sure you've seen them.
Right there.
People think other people are involved, or another government was involved. I mean, you're kind of in the middle of this. How confident are you that police have the right guy, Tyler Robinson?
100%. They have the right guy.
The prosecution isn't even 100%. How is she? See what I mean? It's weird what they're doing with public opinion in regards to this case. Again, I'm not one of those guys that's like, free Tyler. I'm not like that. But it's like, how on earth do you know 100% that they got the right guy? And then somebody, Heather's like, dude, he's with his immediate family, man. Yeah, okay. That's his immediate family would have to be her sister. She would have to be related through a sister, which would be his mom, or her brother, which would be his dad. You don't just say his family. You say our family. What are you talking about? I don't know who Heather is. I don't know who you are, Heather, but you're wrong. You're 100% wrong. Okay? Oh, he's with his immediate family, bro. That's why she said his family. Ugh. What are you talking about? My sister-in-law's family is my family. My brother-in-law's family, my brother's family is my family. What are you talking about, Heather? Listen, don't be a Joe, okay? All right? You've seen how Barron handles Joes. I'll have to do the same thing, okay? Barron sent me all the logic programs to dispense to people who need them. Please don't put yourself in Joe status, okay? Just don't do it. Don't do it to yourself. It's not a good place to be, okay? Absolutely ridiculous. Then you're going to tell me Erika's grieving is normal. That's what you're going to tell me next, huh, Heather? I'm kidding. I'm not going in on Heather. See, look, Heather's like, I'm right. I'm right. How did you just write that statement, Heather? I'm correct. I am the correct one. I'm right. Get out of here. Again, I just brought up the perfect argument. My brother's family is my family. He has kids and a wife. Her brother, her sister, their kids. That's my family. It's not their family over there. What? Heather, is this your first time on Earth? Hey, this is how Earth works, Heather. When we have brothers and sisters, those are siblings. Those are people who have all come out of the same human. You understand, Heather? And then what happens there is we're all related by blood, DNA. You understand? The molecules, you have molecules on your planet. We're all related through that. Okay. And that makes us all family. That's the word that we use. Starts with an F. You understand? You understand what I mean there, right? Okay. So then when we all have offspring, right? Because when we get together, man and a woman, when man and woman get together, there is offspring at times. Those offsprings become related also to my sibling. I know. I don't want to get you caught off guard here. Okay. I'm going deep. I know. My offspring related to my sibling. That's how that works. I know. We're going deep. My wife becomes family. Now, wife is female counterpart. There's man, there's woman. Okay. They intermingle. Offspring comes. You understand? Am I too fast for you? And then from there, when the offspring comes, and my wife, because now we're married. There's a whole thing. Marriage, I won't explain it. We get rings and stuff. It's a weird thing. But we get married. She's now family with me. So now my brother, okay, that's sibling, that's molecules, same molecules. Now that person, now they're family. That's how that works. Oh, yeah. It's really weird. I'm sorry. Sorry, Heather. At least you're laughing. I'm just kidding around. All right, let's keep going here. I just wanted to show you guys that, just to kind of preface this. So you got to take that for what you think. I mean, some of you guys might just be completely turned off of Brian because of what I just showed you, but I think he does good work. I just think that interview was like, I was like, that's so prepped and weird. Like, it was just so prepped and so weird and so short. It was just, he was really smart. And I don't know, he's with his family now. And also, Tyler Robinson is 100% the person, and no other government's involved. It's like you hit all the points that you're trying to dispel on X and in the fringes of the alternative theories, right? A little convenient for me. But he does good work in this video. He starts talking about the text messages. They do a little bit of a breakdown. Listen to this.
Opportunity to take out Charlie Kirk, and I'm going to take it. And then Lance Twiggs writes, "What? You're joking, right?" And Tyler Robinson writes, I am still okay, my love, but I'm stuck in Orem for a little while longer yet. Shouldn't be long until I can come home, but I got to grab my rifle still. To be honest, I had hoped to keep this secret till I died of old age. I am sorry to involve you." And then Lance says, "You weren't the one who did it, right?" And he says, "I am. I'm sorry." And Lance says, "I thought they caught the person." And Tyler writes, "No, they grabbed some crazy old dude, then interrogated someone in similar clothing. I had planned to grab my rifle from my drop point shortly after, but most of that side of town got locked down. It's quiet, almost enough to get out, but there's one vehicle lingering." And then Lance Twiggs writes, allegedly, according to investigators, writes, "Why?" And he writes, and then Tyler says, "Why did I do it?" And Lance says, "Yeah." And he says, "I had enough of his hatred. Some hate can't be negotiated out. If I am to grab my rifle unseen, I will have left no evidence. Going to attempt to retrieve it again. Hope."
If I am to grab my rifle? What? This is wild. If I am to grab my rifle. My love, if I am to grab my rifle from hither, I have to be unseen. You understand? I have to move like the wind. So I can no longer have my mobile device in my hand anymore. I need both of my hands, my love. I will talk to you soon. I'm off. Wish me luck. What? If I am to grab my rifle. If one of my friends talked to me like that, I'd be like, you okay, bro? You okay, man? And I start patting him down for a wire. You all right? You got a wire on you? What you got on you? What?
Hopefully they have moved on. I haven't seen anything about them finding it. And then Lance writes, how long have you been planning this? He writes, a bit over a week, I believe. I can get close to it, but there's a squad car parked right by it. I think they already swept that spot, but I don't want to chance it. I'm wishing I had circled back and grabbed it as soon as I got to my vehicle. I'm worried what my old man would do if I didn't bring back Grandpa's rifle. I don't know if it had a serial number, but it wouldn't trace to me. I worry about prints I had to leave in a bush where I changed outfits. Didn't have the ability or time to bring it with. I might have to abandon it and hope they don't find prints. How the F will I explain losing it to my old man? Only thing I left was the rifle wrapped in a towel. Remember how I was engraving bullets? The effing messages are mostly a big meme. If I see notice bulge UWU on Fox News, I might have a stroke. All right, I'm gonna have to leave it. That really effing sucks. Judging from today, I'd say Grandpa's gun does just fine. I don't know. I think that was a 2K scope. Delete this exchange. My dad wants photos of the rifle. He says Grandpa wants to know who has what. The feds released a photo of the rifle, and it's very unique. He's calling me right now, not answering. Since Trump got into office, my dad has been pretty diehard MAGA. I'm going to turn myself in willingly. We don't know the timestamps, by the way. I'm going to turn myself in willingly. One of my neighbors here is a deputy for the sheriff. You are all...
No, they didn't give the timestamps. It's not that he doesn't know. It's not like he's like, oh, I couldn't find the timestamps. Sorry, guys. No. He works for a whole news organization. He could have them if he wanted them. They were never given. Literally, this is what was given. Just this. Just this. You know? Just explaining so much, okay? Let me just move on to the next clip. This is where he actually sits down with someone who's ex-bureau. But apparently this guy doesn't, he's not really buying what's going on here. But he does slip up when he's talking about the bureau. He says we at a certain point, and he corrects himself. And he says they. And I was like, oh, I got you.
Going over the text messages and some of our other new reporting on the case. Thanks for talking with me again, Steve. It's always a pleasure to talk with you. The first thing I wanted to ask you about was we interviewed this family friend of, or, I'm sorry, let me start that over. The first thing I wanted to ask you about is we interviewed this family member of Lance Twiggs who said that he had FBI.
Whoa, hold on a second. I didn't catch that the first time. Hold on. Did he? Nah. Is that what just happened? Hold on a second. I think he was supposed to cut that part out. Hold on a second.
More retired FBI agent who's been going over the text messages and some of our other new reporting on the case. Thanks for talking with me again, Steve. It's always a pleasure to talk with you. The first thing I wanted to ask you about was we interviewed this family friend of, or, I'm sorry, let me start that over. The first thing I wanted to ask you about is we interviewed this family member of Lance Twiggs.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, we got him. I like Brian. I like him a lot. I think he does great work. But ladies and gentlemen, we got him. Sorry. It was a family friend. You see that, Heather? You see that out there, Heather? It was a family friend. Then he corrected himself. Family member. Very interesting. We got him. We got him, guys. That's it. Just a misstep. I'm sure. Just a misstep. You know, he had to start over. I really think he was supposed to cut that part out. I would have. If I would have cut that out. I would have been like, oh, I forgot. I've got to cut that out really quick. Of course. He even said, let me start that over. Right? Am I wrong? I don't know. That was really, really interesting. Yeah. Oops. Yeah. Oops. What do you mean by that? I don't know. Listen, it sounded like a family friend. It just made sense that it could be a family friend. And that would be quote unquote family friend, like somebody who lived down the street and around the corner who's willing to talk to you about this whole thing and just happens to, be Philadelphian. You know what I mean? Anyway, let's keep going. We're going to give him another chance, man. Another chance. Come on. It's Brian. He does good work. He really does.
Who said that he had FBI protection initially right after Tyler Robinson was arrested for about a month and a half. But him and his family then obtained a lawyer, and they no longer have the FBI protection. And they've since actually moved out of state from Utah. I just want to back up a little, though. In terms of them getting FBI protection, is that common, and what does that mean to you?
Yeah, it's not common at all. The only people I remember protecting were potential victims of a crime that we were investigating, like an attack or something like that. Or commonly, it's what we call CWs, cooperating witnesses. You don't protect people unless something bad happens. I mean, the FBI is not free private security. They are an investigative agency. And so to protect somebody, there has to be something in it for us, either ethically or morally. And the only thing I ever saw that used for, at least in my experience, was cooperating witnesses. And to be a cooperating witness, you have to, number one, be cooperating, and number two, be willing to be a witness, which means that if, in my opinion, if the FBI was protecting him, he had agreed to provide information against Robinson.
Hey guys, if you watch my videos,
Very interesting. Very, very interesting. You know, I think something's going on with Lance. I think that's why they can't talk about him in the courtroom. And if they do, it has to be like everybody has to leave kind of thing. I think there's something up with him. I really do think, I wrote it in the chat there, whoever didn't see it. I think there's some Mortal Kombat Ultra stuff going on with Lance. He has all the same markers. If you look into Manson's story and you look into his brief story from Turkey Tom and the whole breakdown that was done of the guy, I mean, it seems like there's something up with him. Just in my mind. And then on top of that, people are now saying that Tyler himself was in this gifted type of thing. So instead of Tyler having a spiritual guy for spiritual purposes like Charlie did, maybe he had this Lance character who was putting him into this, altered state in a way through all the things that they were doing. And what they were doing was, getting in furry suits and, doing the horizontal furry suit mambo. Okay, there you go. They were doing stuff like that. And that is a part of these type of programs. They do stuff like that from time to time. And it just helps. It helps have a connection and then helps that person be persuaded into doing something. And that's possibly what could have been going on with Lance. Obviously, it's hard to know because it's hard to know anything about Lance. But what we do know in regards to what he was doing, his mental state, what he was doing with Tyler, he seems very MK. I mean, he seems like Manson to me. Like, honestly. Let's keep going here really quick. This is where the FBI guy kind of shuts down the text messages.
With the family member. And I knew about these text messages, obviously, since the indictment first came out, but they kind of came back to the surface in light of everything we're learning about him possibly no longer cooperating, getting a lawyer, not having FBI protection. So basically what happened is, according to the investigators, Tyler Robinson left behind a note, texted Lance Twiggs, go find this note under the keyboard, where he explained and admitted to what he was doing, according to investigators. And then Twiggs writes, "What? You're joking, right?" And then Robinson responds, "I am still okay, my love, but I am stuck in Orem for a little while longer. Shouldn't be long until I can come home, but I gotta grab my rifle still. To be honest, I had hoped to keep this secret till I died of old age. I am sorry to involve you." What stands out to you there? Doesn't it seem like Lance doesn't seem that surprised by the whole thing, and also that he has to go grab this rifle? Like, it seems kind of like a random thing to just say after you admitted that you killed Charlie Kirk.
Yeah, that sounds like bad establishing dialogue in a superheroes movie. There's too much exposition in that thing. It's not like boom, boom, boom. Wait, what did you do? You have a rifle. you can shoot it right, all these questions that weren't asked. Those how they do in this, they start these dialogues early in a movie where the guy says, hey, I'm not afraid of your father-in-law. Oh yeah, well he's a big mobster and a hitman, and he's out to get you. Oh, I'm not afraid of him. This kind of stuff. You establish everything as you go along. So it seems contrived. Maybe they were just not good communicators, but it seems contrived, and it seems that there was not extreme surprise that one of the two in a loving relationship had just gone out and murdered a public figure. So I'm just there was no stunned silence. There was no wait, stop talking. I need to, stop kidding me, this kind of stuff.
Yeah, it just almost seems so like casual. Let me read you the next part. It says, how long have you been planning this? So Lance actually asked Robinson that. How long have you been planning this? And he says, a bit over a week, I believe.
Wow, those audio issues are worse than Barron's. Barron had a little bit of an audio issue before where he was at a little bit of a delay with the mouth versus the actual audio. That guy's was way worse. That was crazy. His face,
just not good communicators.
Nuts.
But it seems contrived, and it seems that there was not extreme surprise that one of the two in a loving relationship had just gone out and murdered a public figure. So I'm just there was no stunned silence. There was no wait, stop talking. I need to, stop kidding me, this kind of stuff.
Yeah, it just almost seems so like casual.
Mouth's not even moving. Wow. And this guy's 100% right. Wouldn't you, I haven't even said this before, but wouldn't you be like, I gotta call you. I gotta call you, man, you hold on. I'm calling you. I have to call you. What's going on? They're like, no. We're just going to keep talking like this. No shocked. Somebody said in the comments, they're like, oh, are you saying like Tyler was honeypotted by Lance? No, well, I mean, I don't know. Listen, everybody likes a different flavor of honey. I guess you can consider Lance honey. Some people, honey's in the eye of the beholder. Everybody knows that, right? So could be. That's not usually what comes to mind with me when I think of honey, right? And a pot. It's not my kind of pot, but could be. But I think in the range of a handler of sorts. Possibly. I mean, when you look into what Lance was doing, I should do an episode on it. I mean, when you look into what Lance was doing, maybe I'll do that for the weekend episode or something. But when you look at what he was writing, the weird conversations he was having with ChatGPT and like all these symbols he was making, it was really, really weird. Again, that's why I compared it to Manson. It was just odd what he was doing. So yeah, the text messages seem odd. The fact that they're pushing Lance not being a person of interest at all is odd to me. I think the whole thing just kind of, it seems kind of fugazi to me. It really does. We're not going to jump into the comments quite yet, but or the super chats, I should say. But I just wanted to play this really quick. This is John Bray. Everybody knows John Bray now. John Bray established this this image, this recording, where he's showing the vapor coming off of Charlie. Look at this. This is really weird. You can look right there and see it. Right? There's like this vapor coming off, apparently. Now, I don't know if that would happen with a bullet, but it's very, like, that's what he's showing over and over again. There's this vapor coming off of him. Very weird stuff. And, I don't even know what to say about it. It's just very weird, and it's something that I thought I'd bring up because, I don't know, man. It's really weird to show this vapor that comes out of the shirt as it puffs up. Everybody knows that the shirt puffed up. So somehow it puffed up, and then this vapor comes out when he puts this, I don't even know what to call this, a filter, I guess I'll say. But this vapor comes out. Really weird. Really weird. He's been doing a lot of wild work, a lot of good work, and I have to look into it more, honestly. But that image really spooked me because I was like, oh man, I'm like, is this not case closed? I'm like, this vapor's coming out again. I'm no expert, right? I'm no Gary from Paramount Tactical, but just to think that there's this vapor coming out of his shirt, wouldn't that mean that something combusted? Is that not an easy conclusion to come to? Just, very weird stuff. Very weird stuff. I mean, that's not like a full segment, but I had to show that to you guys because when I was seeing it, I was like, this is so weird. So weird. Anyway, let's jump in here. Let's keep going. What else do I got here? Oh, I also had, Candace actually talk exactly what I said. I knew Candace would not be like, oh, I hate that Kanye actually apologized, blah, blah, blah. I knew that was going to happen. I knew she wouldn't feel that way. Why would she feel that way? I'm sure she wants a lot of people who are around her to give her grace and, not get on her back for the things she says. Why would she do that to Ye? It just wouldn't make any sense whatsoever. And Ye apparently is very mad that people think that this is some kind of a PR move or move for his business. And this statement is actually pretty good. He says, it's my understanding that I was in the top 10 most listened to artists overall in the US in 2025 on Spotify. And last week and most days as well, my upcoming album Bully is currently the #1 most anticipated album, pre-saves of any album on Spotify too. Most anticipated and most pre-saved on Spotify as well. My 2007 album, Graduation, was the most listened to and streamed album, hip-hop album of 2025. This, for me, is evidence by the letter, evidence by the letter, as evidenced by the letter, isn't about reviving my commerciality. Oh, this guy's back. Oh, he's back. This is going to be crazy. This is because these remorseful feelings were so heavy on my heart and weighing on my spirit. Well, shout out to, what's his name? Harley, that guy who is the personal trainer to all the celebrities. What is his name? Harley Patrick. Shout out to him for writing that for Ye. Shout out to him. Great. Good. Really good, Harley. Good job. Good job writing that for Ye. Ye just needs a bank, man. That's all it is. Listen, I'm one of those people that he doesn't like saying this about. Ye just needs a bank. Ye's just like, just give me a bank, man. I'm going to make the money. I just need a place to put it. Please. I can't store $1 billion. Please, guys. That's all that is. I already talked about it. He wasn't forced per se, but he was kind of forced, You know what I mean? It's like if I'm pushing you out of a room and I'm like, I'm not forcing you out of the room. I'm just doing this. And the door is there. And then I push you out of the room. And I'm like, I didn't force you out. That's not what I did. I didn't force you out. Wasn't me. I don't know, guys. Let's just jump in to the super chats. I can't wait for Candace to go live today. I don't know what she's going to talk about. I have no clue what she's going to say. No clue what she's going to talk about. I hope she talks about some good stuff. I hope she touches more on Erika Kirk. It seems like there's a straight up feud between her and Erika Kirk that is not going to die down. It's pretty wild. In fact, I don't know what's going to happen with that. It's pretty crazy. I'm going to be honest. She completely took the gloves off. It's just, I don't know what's going to happen from here on out. I think this is going to be, she kind of did what Wolves in Finance did. She's like, charge me the money, whatever you want. And then doubled down and said all this stuff about Erika and released some stuff that Turning Point clearly didn't want released. I think she is, she's ready. She's ready for whatever legal battle comes. And I think between her and Wolves, I think it's coming. For one of them, it's coming. I mean, they basically both just doubled down and said, yeah, I don't care. I don't care. Do whatever you want. Okay. All right. We'll see what happens. I think it's going to be crazy. Anyway, let's jump in here. Let's jump into these super chats, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know why it lags behind so much. Well, look at that. Why does it lag behind so much? Let's see here. Let's get these on the screen, guys. We have Megan Bell right at the top. I have 6 children, and every time they ask me something, I say allegedly, maybe, perhaps. It drives them nuts. I was going to say that probably drives them absolutely crazy. Definitely need a shirt. Also, for some reason, always need a mint when I watch your show, Crazy Mind Games. That was the whole thing. That's what this whole show was about. It was about establishing a mint company and making you guys want it more than anything. That's all this whole thing's been about, okay? Pablo says, hello, coach. Yesterday's live stream, you referred to JFK. That had slipped away. We all need to not let this happen with Charlie this time. 100%, man. I'm telling you, man. We could have, think of the people back then. Obviously, they didn't have the type of resources we have, but man, they could have hung on to this. They could have looked into it more. The Zapruder film didn't get found until 30 years later, something like that, 20 years later. So it's like we can't let it slip away. If we can figure it out, or if we can ask enough questions that when the next generation, like us, if there were more questions asked when it came to JFK, what could have happened is we could have had a better blueprint or layout of what it was really all about. But instead, we were the ones asking the questions about JFK, and now it's so hard to figure it all out because you can't interview anybody, you can't find anybody. The fact that you heard what happened with him in Philadelphia and the nuclear testing and all this stuff, that really sets off something. And now it's so hard to know. It's all so hard to know now. And if we don't ask any questions, it'll be like that 20 years from now. It'll be so hard. But now think of what they have laid out for them in regards to Charlie Kirk 20 years from now. Think about everything they have laid out. They have a bunch of stuff laid out. And that's what we need to do. We need to keep asking the questions. It's the only thing that keeps us free, in the words of Charlie Kirk. Pablo again. He's answering somebody. Ms. Amazing Someone with Money super chat to coach and tell him to get on Ancestry, get a subscription. I emailed Candace Owens the same info. Tons of history on Stan Seymour. Oh, I have information on Stan Seymour. I actually have information on him. I completely forgot. How did I forget that? Lance found information on him. How did I not talk about that? Where is it, Lance? Let me see. Who is Lori? I have information on this guy. His obituary. So mentions survived by son Stan Lee Clark. That's Lori. Lori Moore. Randall, Cynthia, this, that. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of information here. Let me see what I can actually... I guess I'll click through on this. I hate clicking links. You have no idea. It's nerve-wracking for me. So Walter Clark, Buzz Moore, that's her father, but we're trying to find out about his... Oh, wait, no. Yeah, that's his father. Died July 2010. He was born in Holly Springs to the late Chester and Bessie Spencer Moore, devoted husband, outdoorsman, etc., etc. As a young man, played football. Keep going here. Survived by wife, 55 years, Evelyn F. Whatley Moore. Sons, Stanley Clark, Lori Moore. I don't know why Stanley Clark bracket Lori Moore. I don't know why it's like that. And I guess that's his wife, Stanley's wife. Okay, that makes sense. So he's survived by a bunch of people. There's not enough in this one. I wanted to find the actual information. This, that. Nah, I don't have enough information yet. We'll let you know when we find more information. I'm sure Candace is looking into it a whole bunch, and she's getting sent all sorts of tips. But I wanted to find the stuff about him being like a Mason and stuff like that. I think that's him, or maybe that's Greg Locke's grandfather. Let's keep going here. Good morning, Coach. Got my coffee and mints ready. Heather, is that you, Heather? Thanks for letting me get that monologue off, Heather. It helped a lot. Heather, once again, allegedly, maybe perhaps, good morning, family. Thank you so much, Heather. We really appreciate you. Joel, what's going on, Joel? Thanks so much for this. Did you ever look into the secret government program that dealt with clowns and hamburgers and French fries? Didn't take long for the CIA to shut down that program. Oh, MK Donald's? Hey. You spent $20 to say that to me? MK Donald's? Really? It's fine. I appreciate it. But geez, come on now. I was really into it. I was like, oh man, hamburgers and fries. I'm like, what are they, made of people or something? And then this guy says MK Donald's. You know, I wouldn't be surprised. Listen, if the agency got a hold of hip hop and pretty much molded hip hop into what it is from the very beginning, why wouldn't they do the same thing with MK Donald's? I mean, come on. I think they have their hands in a lot of different things. Kinetic KD, love your lives. You're a natural. You were being bragged on. Barron's podcast the other night. Whoop whoop. Let's get into it. Was he bragging about me? I heard he said I was a natural. He said I transitioned into live commentary really easily. Shout out to all my delivery workers at work right now. Man, I used to be a delivery worker, and good Lord, how I used to love listening to podcasts. If there's anybody, if you're doing that right now, Logan, listening to me, shout out to you. Thank you so much. Morning, Coach from SD. Do you mean SD cards? Is that what you're talking about? Hold on. Is this super chat from the SD cards? Or is this from the SD cards that were at that event? No, I'm kidding. Eric Foster says the Erika Kirk pick from Danks is pure nightmare fuel. She needs some Philly mints. Love the show. Yeah, man. Imagine seeing that. I'm up at, what was it, 3 o'clock in the morning? 3 o'clock in the morning I'm up, and then he just sends that to me. I just see it on my screen big, and then it looks at me. I'm like, oh my gosh, why did you do that? You know? First interaction I have with this guy. That's what he does. Jeez. Montauk Chronicles 2014 documentary, must watch. Yes, it is. I've seen it. I had to watch it when we were researching for that episode. Me and my wife did. Keith, we have the most incredible team. You're all fired. That is so true. That is so true. We have the most incredible team here, guys. I mean, I'm just so proud of everybody. And I think I heard Candace Owens on one of your devices. So I'm firing all 55 of you. Have a great day. Have a good day. You know, it's what Charlie would have wanted. What? You're a man. You hit the nail on the head with that one, boy. So Lee, man, it's so true. So true. I cannot imagine referencing my very recent husband's funeral as the event of the century. Absolutely diabolical. Love you, Colin. Thank you so much. Leonis? I don't know. Always be true. And yeah, you're 100% right. I mean, the event of the year, the event of the century is such a crazy thing to say. Everything with her is so odd, man. So odd. I'm telling you, I was talking about this before when I did an episode on just her. Everything is weird. And now that she's in this phase of being the CEO, it just gets even weirder. And listen, if she went from everything we've seen, trying to get into Hollywood, doing interviews, pageantry, live TV shows, reality shows, now this whole arc that she's living, why wouldn't they push her into politics? That's clearly the next thing. The next thing they're doing is pushing her into politics. I have no doubt that the next thing they do with Erika is they take her and they say, okay, now it's politics time. 100% that's what they're going to do with her. There's no way that they're not going to do that with Erika. They're going to take her. They're going to take her and they're going to put her into politics. She's going to run with J.D. Vance. That's what I think. I mean, that's what Mikey McCoy said. And when does Mikey McCoy ever lie? He's not capable of lying, right? They said she'd be great. She'd be fantastic as a VP. I was just like, wow, it's so weird that they're doing this. But I don't know, man. I don't know. We'll have to see about that. But I think that's the next step, because why wouldn't they? They've already pushed her all this way. It's not even a far leap, right? She's the one who's now behind this, political organizing machine. All they have to do is just put her there. And then hopefully the hope is that everybody who supports Turning Point then turns to her for voting. And then slowly she starts building and building and building. But it's going to be terrible if they try it. It's going to be terrible. There's better people. It would be better if JD went with Gavin Newsom as his VP. It'd be a better decision. I don't like Gavin at all. It would be a better decision. It would just be such a bad decision, honestly. She would be the Tim Walz of the two, Always be true. Coach, the Zoom call was on September 22nd after Memorial, 12 days after the death. Erika was/is the happiest widow, counting money. There you go. 100%. I mean, that's what it seems like. Very happy. A little too happy. Peace, power, prosperity, full drink. What's your full name? Full drinking? Stay the course, bro. I am staying the course 100%. Thank you so much. Congratulations on your crown as well. Mel Klomp, Erika Kirk's speech. I am blown away with the number of people who love my husband, and thank you all for your efforts. You will all hear from me soon. Here is Andrew. Yeah. I mean, the whole thing's just very weird. Let's keep going here. Mika, first super chat ever. When my husband was in the ICU, I was traumatized for months. Just the thought of losing him, 33 years strong. I'm telling you, man, just the thought of not having your wife, your husband is just, I mean, I get those thoughts sometimes, and it's the worst. It's the worst thought. It's the one thing that could make me tear up right away thinking about that. I mean, and then going through it, and then 5 days later, it's like, here's the thing. A lot of people will take that, right? A lot of regular people, they'll take that and they'll be like, oh, what strength. She's so strong. I don't see that as being strong. Not at all. It doesn't sound like strength, right? There's a certain, I don't know how to say it. There's something in the voice that you would hear where it's strength and her being strong. This literally sounded like her just being fine. Like she was completely fine. On top of that, not being able to see them as they left the house, right? He just left because they didn't even get to kiss goodbye. That's what the story is. I mean, just knowing all these things, how hard it would be, how hard it should be. You know what? Somebody made a meme and they heard the microphone squeaking. And then when they made the meme, they made my chair squeak. Let me tell you something, buddy. The chair doesn't squeak, all right? I'm not that big. My chair's not squeaking, all right? I just, it kind of got to me there. I was like, this guy's making my chair squeak like I'm 430 pounds. Amy says, oh, well, I shouldn't laugh at this. My husband passed away 3 years ago. Oh, also, just to this person here, Mika, no condolences, but I'm sorry. I'm sorry you had to go through that. It's rough going through stuff like that. I couldn't imagine, I could not imagine. Amy says, my husband passed away 3 days ago, and I still can't say dead and Paul in the same sentence. He died of terminal cancer. We knew it was coming for 2 years. You knew it was coming 2 years. Yeah, see? Condolences to you, Amy. And yeah, it's rough. Yeah, 3 years later. Still can't do that. That's normal. That's not abnormal. That's not her being performative. That is completely how it would be not being able to say it, not being able to think, not being able to, you know, walk through the house, wash the sheets because you don't want the smell to be gone. You know what I mean? Like that's normal stuff. It doesn't seem like she's going through any of that, like not even a little bit. You know, condolences to you once again. Jessica says dogs can typically sniff out psychopaths. I guarantee a therapy dog would have been barking nonstop. Come on. Therapy dogs are nice. They're good boys. They're good boys, therapy dogs. Maybe though. You never know. You never know. You're right. They do sniff out odd things. They got a different sense than we do. So you could be right there. She didn't want them speaking to outside count. Yeah. This wasn't helpful. It was a warning. Ah. That's so true. That's true. She didn't want them going to outside sources. And she was even like, we have pastors. And then think of who those pastors are, what they've shown themselves to be today. Rob McCoy, all of these people. I forget what that black pastor's name was. I think his name was John or something. The guy who's like, dastardly deeds. Candace Owens is evil and demonic, y'all. Evil and demonic. Now we have a mock casket of Charlie right there. It is filled with voter registration forms. If you could please reach into that casket and pull out a voter registration form for me and leave me $2,000 inside the casket. Can I get an amen? That guy. That guy. You see what they showed themselves to be, right? That's who she wanted them to see. You see what they're associated with, right? The psychological operations and stuff. That's who she wanted them to see. Interesting. That's more Project Often at work. That is often at work right there. When you see stuff like that, that's often at work. Oh man, that's a good catch. Very good catch, Sarah Bear 12. Very good catch. You're 100% right about that. That was a warning. Go to these people, you know? Man, that place. I've seen people grieve more over a pet. Yeah, man. You know, I love to watch reality TV slop. There was a show, I think it's called Selling the OC or Selling Sunset or whatever. It's like one of these reality shows where they're like, you know, they're it's drama in real estate. You know, I love real estate. I kind of love drama too. I gotta be honest. And I watched this show, and at one point, the owner of the company, his dog died, and the guy had a funeral, and this guy's giving a eulogy, and he's snot bubble crying. I mean, he breaks down. He's like, and this lady who like bought the dog with them, they're like friends, and they're both crying like all of their parents died at the same time. It's just crazy. They're just going nuts. Yeah, people definitely grieve over dogs more than Erika has grieved over Charlie. 100%. Alpha. Oh, also Alpha. What is this? What is this here? Alpha jerk? I feel like you're gonna make me say something I'm not supposed to say. All right, I'll just call you Alpha. Thank you, Alpha. Connecticut. No, actually, Charlie would like to get back to work and for you to take care of his babies. Yeah, probably, right? Charlie's probably like, hey, where's the kids? What's going on? Why don't I see her with the kids? Chris, holler at ya. Thank you so much, Mira. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Moira. I honestly don't understand how people are against Candace when we constantly see how cringe Erika is. I genuinely feel for Candace. Charlie deserves so much better. Great show, coach. Yeah, he really did. He really deserved a lot better than what he was getting. All the people who were around him the day that it happened, you know, the month before, the people he's sending these text messages to, it's really sad. You know, like I said before, like imagine you send somebody who's supposed to be like security, you send them a message saying, I think they're going to kill me. And they don't stop everything for what you say. And they just go, oh man, don't worry. We got it beefed up. Don't worry. You'll be fine. It's kind of scary, man. You tell one of your friends that and they go, oh man, come on. It's really like, That's not the reaction you want from your friends when you tell them stuff like that. You want a reaction like they're going to they want to shut down life and understand what exactly is happening to you. You know what I mean? This is going to end up a 2020 special, probably. CK was sacrificed. Yeah, kind of like Kobe, honestly. Honestly, when you look at Kobe, what happened to him, what happened to Charlie, it's very much similar. And they're using it for, it seems like, allegedly using it for spiritual purposes. That's what it seems like to me. Grief comes in waves. My husband is dead. So anyways, this is TPA. Jeez. I was about to say condolences. My husband is dead. So anyways, this is Turning Point 2.0. Please use paid leave and get back to work. Or get back to work. Yeah. Release the files. 100%. 100%. That's so funny. I was about to be like, condolences, guys. Really sorry about that. You got me there, honestly. Catch the June bug. What's going on, Catch the June bug? Guys, in Erika's defense, she has had a lot longer time to grieve and adjust than we have. Oh, I see what you did there. Okay? You have to be from Barron's high IQ outfit. That's where you're from. 100%. That's where you're from. That's a good joke. She's had a lot more time, She started grieving in Fort Huachuca. She started grieving out in Fort Huachuca. She was like, this is going to be hard. Yeah, no, this one. Yeah, I'm kidding. That didn't happen. She didn't do that, guys. Come on. She's a good lady. Loves a good sparkly pantsuit. Who doesn't? Ferguson says, Erika Kirk's beyond evil, cold, and calloused. No emotion. Speaking of Charlie, less than 2 weeks after he passed. Oh, staff, grieve on your own dime. Get back to work. Yeah, it really doesn't sound like it. She sounds like she's kind of just like, yeah, he's dead. My husband's dead. Like, and kind of using it as like a little bit of a weapon. Like, hey, if you guys have beef with each other and there's like back and forth happening, my husband's dead, just so you know. It's like, are you going to cry? No? Are you sure? You should probably cry in front of us while you're talking about your husband being dead. She's like, I would, but we sold so many hats. And the fact that we sold so many hats, here's what I want you to do. You want me to package up the hats? No. I want you to package up a bunch of bracelets. That's what we're going to do instead. We keep the hats. We throw them out into the crowd like Charlie used to do. This is a win-win, guys. We're donating the hats. And then we write it off as a donation. What? Ma'am, we can't do that. I'm kidding. They would never. They're good people at Turning Point. Let's keep going here, guys. What? $1 million in hats. Noon gets basically stolen. Yeah. Well, basically, right? That's exactly what I was just saying. Basically, Nessie, again, condolences to Nessie. I had to read this one outside of the YouTube Studio for Mod Plus volume. Good. You can use a YouTube Studio for mod. Can I? I can mod people in YouTube Studio. This is Lance telling me. He's telling me what to do. If you're gonna tell me what to do, Lance, you gotta leave more money than $2. No, I will do exactly what you're saying. I modded Joel. Joel is in. Next is Whitney, and then there's a bunch of other ones you told me to mod up, and I will make sure that gets done. Sorry for being so busy all the time trying to put this stuff together. This guy's been an amazing help, absolutely amazing. He's the one that gave me all the information that I've been reading about. Has a channel of his own too. He goes real deep, goes super deep. The Huxtables grieved more on the Cosby Show for Theo's dead goldfish than Erika grieved for Charlie. Good show, Coach. Well, you gotta understand that that's a little bit harsh. Bill Cosby, his wife, you know, his son, daughters in that show, they're all much better actors than Erika is. You know, they're much better at acting. I'm just saying there's levels to this acting thing. You can't just jump in and think you're just going to be acting all crazy, you know? Morning, coach. Keep going live. Yes, ma'am. Jeffrey, it only took 4 years to move. It only took Erika 4 years to move up from low-level job interview to CEO of a $250 million nonprofit. Impressive for a D. Jeffrey, come on. Mr. Smith, come on. Jeez. I didn't see that coming. It's so big on the screen. I didn't even see it coming. Impressive, even for a demon. That is amazing. That is so funny. And probably more truth than we realize. Powerful Powell puppy life. I've been doing some research, and I believe that Erika Kirk is a clone of her mother. I know that sounds weird. Not to me. It doesn't sound weird, but I'm working on proving it. Hey, listen. Do it. Figure it out. If it's true, that would be so cool. I mean, terrifying, but so cool. I mean, especially if you proved it. There's honestly no way for you to prove it. It would be very hard. One thing, you'd have to find pictures of her mother when she was younger. And they would, I think, in Clone World, they'd have to be identical. They couldn't just kind of look alike. They would be identical because it's clone, right? I don't know. So let me know. If you get that one going. You know what? Don't even let me know. If you figure that out, make your own channel, because you're going to blow up overnight. I'll tell you something. If you figure that out, go ahead and just create a channel. Ali says, this is immensely strange. Oh, I love it. Perfect. Erika is a robot or a demon or a robotic demon. Love what you're doing live now. I'm a big fan. Charlie's Angels, not the mint giving angels, but the good kind. Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Or man. There's I can't tell. I think I'm gonna say you. I'm just gonna call you. No offense. Anyway, Beebs says, I went to Quest Academy, and this whole investigation is really freaking me out, rethinking my entire life now. If you really went to Quest, let me know. If you want to talk about it, let me know. Let me know what you went through. I can give you some perspective on things because I know what tests that they were doing in the Gateway program versus what they were doing in the schools. And there is a heavy connection. Quest was known as one of the ones that did the most tests that were similar to what the agency was doing. So if you're willing to talk, hit me up on Instagram. Screenshot this, and let's talk about it, because I would love to break that down with you. Pocket Change. Does that say Pocket Change Philadelphia? Oh, philanthropist. Okay. I thought it was really cool. Erika seems genuinely relieved, almost like she's glad he's gone. I just can't wrap my head around feeling that way. Yeah, it's weird. It's this very weird thing. It's odd. 9,000 watching, 2,000 shares. How do you know how many shares? Make it make sense. 9,000 watching, 2,000 shares. How do you know how many shares there are? Are you talking about likes? Nah. More people have to like. I mean, it really helps. There's 9,000 here. You all hit that like. I mean, it helps beyond what you could even fathom. I mean, beyond what I could even fathom, because they don't actually tell us, but they tell us that it helps. Jacqueline says, I lost my soul sister, my Jonathan, 13 years ago, and I still cry, ugly cry, over it sometimes when I talk about her. Erika's behavior is not normal. Yeah, and I'm sorry for your loss. Soul sister, sometimes that hurts more than family, you know? Because you actually had to go out and find each other. So it hits a little differently when they're gone, because you felt like they're supposed to be there the whole time. You know, you kind of know your parents are going to go. You don't know that your best friends are going to go, you know? I had my dad go, and then like a month later, my best friend passed away. And I was like, oh, this is crazy. Why is that happening? Or it was like 2 months later or something like that. And you know what? They gave me time off for my dad. It was like 3 days. And then when my best friend died, they didn't give me any time off. Oh man, that's how you create villains. That's how you create villains. I'm really sorry for your loss, though. I'm really sorry for your loss. Condolences in the chat, please. What are those hearts? Hearts in the chat. Dee says, "Hey coach, definitely something wrong with Erika. I took care of my dad 11 years and he passed unexpectedly 10 years ago. I still have not accepted it. When his death day rolls around or his birthday, I feel it in my soul and I cry a lot. I'm sorry for your loss." Yeah, see, this is what you guys are hearing is normal. These are normal reactions. This is how people get. Yeah, like my dad passed away. I didn't have that great of a relationship with my dad. I still cried, when I was by myself, because it was still hard, because there's still so many questions to ask, and when somebody's gone, they're gone. But, my mom, I was raised by my mom, of course, and even thinking about that is like horrifying to me. I'm like, I don't even know what I'm going to do. Like, I know it's going to happen one day. I don't even know what I'm going to do. I always think, I'm like, am I going to be able to handle this? Like, what's going to happen? Am I going to break down? Like, nothing like this has ever happened before. It's crazy. So I could not imagine. Sorry for your loss again. Oh my gosh, so many people. Jeez. You're trying to make me cry, guys? I lost my son 2 years ago this month and had to highly medicate the first 2 weeks. I know the loss of a spouse is different, but I don't see grief. The gross casket video speaks volumes. Yeah, when I first saw that video, I was like, maybe that's just what she's doing. Maybe that's just, I'm like, maybe that's just like normal. And then when I saw the first speech, I was like, that's, maybe she's just mad, And then as it just kept going, I was like, this doesn't seem normal at all. Not at all. And I'm sorry for your loss. Breamy. I'm very sorry for your loss. I hope you're doing all right. It's a rough thing. I can't even think about that. My kids are still babies. I don't even know what I would. Oh man, it would just be terrible. May J says, I almost wonder if her excitement, quote unquote, is her sigh of relief, like she's finally in the spotlight she's worked so hard for throughout the years and doesn't have to play perfect housewife anymore. That is a thing, right? Like, think about it. She has been fighting to get into Hollywood for a long time. And, if I go deeper here, there is a thing. I believe there is in Hollywood. In Hollywood, for you to achieve certain levels of success, there are certain things that must be done. Certain things that have to be removed from your life. And it's part of ritual. And you don't know what they are exactly. You don't know what's going to happen. Basically, you're fighting for fame and you don't know what you're going to have to give up. It's kind of a mystery. But, and this is the type of games that the devil plays. Hey, I want this. I want this immense amount of fame. And it's like, okay, you're going to get the fame, but it's going to be because something happens. Terrible. Something that you love. It's going to be terrible and it's going to be taken away from you. And then you're going to be in that position. He doesn't tell you that. He just says, you want the fame? I got you. Don't even worry about it. And then you get it and you realize like, oh, this is what I had to give up. Because if you look in Hollywood, because I've done many videos on Hollywood. You look in Hollywood, there's a lot of people, pretty much all of them, who end up with family members passing. Going back to Kanye. Kanye was very honest about this. He was like, my mom was a sacrifice. He said it. And he named a bunch of people who have also done the same thing back when he was not in his right state, pre-apology. Who knows? He named Michael Jordan, said Michael Jordan gave up his dad. Like he was talking about it. That's a real thing in Hollywood. And I think, this political machine and all this stuff, I think this is adjacent to Hollywood. This is connected to Hollywood. I think politics in general is connected to Hollywood. So you never know what you'll have to give up for the things that you want, especially if you don't go about it the right way. You go about it a dark way. Coco Saget. I want a side-by-side video comparing Sharon Osbourne grieving and Erika grieving. You will see what real grieving is. Yeah, well, Sharon, despite what you might think about, politics or this or that, she loved that guy. I mean, everybody remembers back in the day watching like that show. I don't know if you watched it. I watched it, their little reality show they had. She loved that dude. She really loved that dude. Like really, really loved that dude. Yeah, it seemed like it to me at least. Josh says, check out Dean Coots' book, Night Chills, Mortal Kombat Ultra. Please look into it. What's his name? Dean Coots? Is that how, am I saying it completely wrong? Dean Coots. See, I feel like you're getting me to say something I shouldn't be saying, That's what I feel like's going on here. I'm going to look into it. Because it's Kuntz. I'm like, yeah, that sounds like a couple of other words that it could be. Bethany says, I lost my dad November 22nd back in 2009, and my mom January 11th on 2011. And I still can't talk about it without crying. If I lost my husband, I'd be a mess. Yeah, I'm sorry for your loss. Very sorry for your loss. But yeah, of course that's how you'd feel. It just, again, it's all odd. And I know what's going to happen online. People are going to say Candace is terrible for what she's doing. Anybody that's questioning this Zoom call. There was even somebody who claimed he was on the Zoom call. I forget who it was. I had them pulled up. I had a clip of them pulled up. And they're like, nothing happened. They're like, nothing was happening. It was a normal call. No, it wasn't, man. And that's going to be the narrative, how it was all normal. And, you don't know what strength is. It's going to be this weird painting of it that's going to happen on X. If you're not on X, I mean, thank your lucky stars. The type of stuff they try to pull off on us is absolutely ridiculous on there, man. But that's what's going to happen. Britain, I'm going to call you Foster, okay? Call was like a sales team call after they win the month. Exactly. That's exactly what it was like. KPIs, goals, deals closed, laughs, jokes, goals for next year, heartbreaking. That's exactly what it was like. 100%. Dora the Builder. I've been enjoying your videos and lives. Funny, Erika mentioning all the hats that were sold, but Wolves in Finance said people aren't getting their hats. Oh yeah. He said they're getting bracelets instead. I know. I can't wait for his next video. B Monster, it's time to question Philadelphia letter. Oh, the Philadelphia letter. That's true. That should be questioned. I would love to know about that. That's a hard one, though. I don't know if Candace can get a hold of that. I don't know if she can get a hold of that. That's not a Turning Point insider that would have to give her that whole thing. That would be rough. But I can see that guy completely making that story up. Of course. The Emperor of Philadelphia, I can see him making that up. 100%. Peter Thiel, whose card is this? Peter Thiel, Elon Musk's grandfather, and JD are all advocates for a technocrat. Yeah, I heard that about Elon Musk's grandfather. Yeah, that he really wants like tech to take over. Peter Thiel talks exactly like Joe Rogan talks about AI making decisions in government. Ruled by scientists and engineers. There is a corresponding map which includes Greenland and Venezuela. That makes sense. Well, Greenland for sure for the rare metals I believe they have, and then Venezuela for sure because of all that sweet money, all that money. Oh my God, there's just so much. 13 trillion. Hi y'all. I know I'm not supposed to be in this meeting. I'm Lindsey Graham. Y'all know me. I was just wondering, when are y'all going to start counting the money? I don't even need any of the money. I just want to be there when you're counting it. I never seen 13 trillion. Can I see $13 trillion? Lindsey Graham just worth $100 million for some reason, just worth like 9 figures. How? How did you do it? Break it down for us, please. Anyway, Philly killed Kirk with hired people, framed Tyler as the lone gunman, helped with Turning Point to include Erika, and the FBI/Gov knew about it in advance, and many people helped plan what happened allegedly. This is allegedly, maybe perhaps common sense. Common spelled with a K. Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's what it seems like. It seems like something within the realm of what you just said has happened. I don't know if all the figures you're talking about are involved, but it seems like something along those lines has taken place. Don't get it. Really don't get it. But I don't know. We'll see. Or maybe we won't. Maybe we won't see. I don't know, man. It's really crazy. But again, I say it all the time. Immortalizing someone as your biggest supporter would be the thing to do. That would be the smartest thing to do. If before he changes his opinion completely, if you can immortalize him as your biggest supporter ever, that's the best thing to do. It's the smartest thing to do. I don't know. Maybe I'm terrible. Maybe BB's hearing me say that and he's like, that's disgusting. Oh, how dare you? That is absolutely vile. Maybe that, Jeffrey, she wasn't grieving because she had already grieved several weeks before Project Mint Day with 250 mil for her VP run. She's now demon focused on Project 2030, Mint Day 2.0, becoming president. Oh my God, could you imagine? Could you imagine how terrible that would be? You know what I mean? It would be terrible. P.S. Heads up, chest out always, brother. You were built for this, and we really appreciate you and your lovely wife loaning you to us at times. Two beautiful souls. Thank you so much, man. Really appreciate that. Let's keep going here. There's a bunch. How do I say it? AS defleet? Asdi fleet? Oh, I said it right? Asdi fleet. Anyway, I animated your Andrew and Mikey McCoy monologue, tagged you on Twitter. I've also made a Candace Intelligence Agency trailer that you're in also, and also created a couple of logos for you. I can design your new stuff. Hit me up, big fan. You hit me up on Instagram when it comes to like designs and stuff. And are you the person who took the Beavis and Butthead scene and put Andrew Colvette's face on Beavis? This is actually a really I don't even know if I can show this because I know it's owned by Comedy Central. I think it's Comedy Central. But it's Andrew Colvette's head on Beavis. And it's the thing where he's like, TP for my bunghole. I need TP for my bunghole. Because they're all grabbing toilet paper because, TP, turning point. So they're all gathering up toilet paper. And it's Andrew Colvette. He's like, I need TP for my bunghole. I need TP. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. If that's you, solid job. Solid job if that's you. If not, tag me again in what you're talking about. Because that one was crazy. I saw that this morning. Have you ever looked into Bohemian Grove? Of course I have. I've made I'm making your chicken now. Thanks, honey. Thanks for making the chicken now. I think she's listening. Thank you for making the chicken now, honey. I really appreciate it. But yes, I have looked into it. I've made episodes about it. It's pretty weird. You know why it's weird? Because Kid Rock and Joe Rogan actually got invited. When Joe Rogan was interviewing Kid Rock revealed, he's like, I got invited. And then Joe kind of like, he's like, I got invited too. And they started laughing about it a little bit. They said that they didn't want to go. No, Kid Rock went. Joe said he didn't want to go. But Kid Rock actually went. And he said it was really, really weird. And it was just like a bunch of famous people. But when you look into it, it's odd. It's because it's presented like it's just this thing with this owl. But it's like this huge campus-like place. It's huge. There's actually like a little train that you get in to go from place to place. It's really weird. There's a lot to it when you look into it, but it is odd. And it's like these little dorm rooms that all these super famous and influential people stay in. It's a very odd thing. There's been a video past Balix Tones, past him. There's actually a newer video of somebody going there when it's not active, and they're like trying to go into like the dorm rooms, and like they paddle up because there's like a river and stuff. or a lake. I don't know. It's a body of water that he's like paddling through. He gets in, he goes into the dorm rooms and everything. He's like looking around. It's a really interesting video. You can find that on YouTube. But yes, I have looked into it quite a bit. Been looking into it for about 15 years, quite honestly. Calling the memorial event the event of the century. Wild young cheese. Thank you so much. Sitting in front. What happened there? Sitting in front. I want to click like on your thing. There you go. Sitting in the doctor's office watching Coach. Dr. Karen says she watches too. Whoop whoop. That's crazy. That's crazy. I've never met anybody that watches my show. You know, it's wild that there's so many of you out there. It'd be crazy to run into somebody who's like, hey, I know you from the YouTube. I'd be like, what are you talking about? I might act like it's not me just to get away. Isn't the X-Men mansion in New York? Yes, it is. Yes. In the same place as Camp Hero. The X-Men thing is in upstate New York. Yes. Yes. It is based on the same thing. It's called Camp Hero, and X-Men is a little school for superheroes. It is based on the exact same thing. Stranger Things, Camp Hero, X-Men. It is all based on the exact same story. They're taking from an actual thing that took place. It's crazy. It's crazy when you start looking into it. It's so wild. Anyway, let's keep going here. And think of it. The girl, what's her name? Millie Bobby Brown? Like there's a scene where she has like a thing on her head, right? Like it's like something that's like on her brain, like electrodes and whatnot. What does it look like? It looks like exactly like Professor X. Professor X wears the exact same thing in X-Men. And it helps what? It helps amplify his powers. Exactly the same thing as her. It's based on the same thing. Do you understand? It's based on the exact same thing. It's crazy. Let's keep going here. I lost 3 people. Cousin, friend, 30 plus years, and my godmother. I told someone that I'm one more away from taking the longest hiatus from work. You know, I'm sorry for your loss. Your losses. Yeah, they come. They start coming. When you get older, man, you know, my mom constantly is telling me about people that passed away, like all the time. All the time. It's like every week. We go see her every week. Every week she's telling us about another person, you know? And now my wife's all pregnant and she gets sad. I'm like, Mom, stop telling us about death all the time, please. Like I have to be like, Mom, that's enough, please. Like so we'll come into the house, she's watching a funeral. I'm like, God, jeez, come on, again? Because they're not like close friends or anything. It's like people like she knows, you know? So it's like, come on. They're not like family members or anything. It's not like her mom passes away. And I'm like, Mom, take it off the screen already. Could you be more like Erika Kirk, for God's sakes? I don't do that. That's not what I'm doing here. Melanie FF78. What kind of monster refers to her husband's funeral as the event of the century? Sells merch, politicizes it by registering voters. Gross. It's crazy. It's nuts. It's so nuts that this is why I feel like they're going to go at Candace now. They're going to start going at Candace more because she exposed that. That's a big thing. That's a big thing to expose, right? I think this is going to set off I think it's going to set off a legal battle. They already sent the letter. She's saying more things. She's not going to stop. I think this is going to set it off, just exposing Erika like this. And she didn't just expose Erika. She went really hard at Erika, and rightly so. I mean, it's nuts. Victoria says, who asked the president to pardon Tyler? And I would like to know what reason they had for this valid. I would think Charlie, honestly. I mean, we're talking about Tyler, right? I mean, Charlie is connected to the now Prez Orange. He's connected to his children, right? He's known him. He's known him for about, I don't know, from the time he was 16. I don't know if you guys know this. He was Don Jr. He was his bag boy when he was young. I think before he even started Turning Point. He was his bag boy. He would like take bags and like carry bags for Don Jr. Yeah, that used to happen. It was weird. But I would think Charlie asked. Who else could have asked? Who else could have made that request for Tyler? Who else is connected enough to that person that could ask for Tyler? It wouldn't be JD, because Charlie was connected to JD. Again, it had to be Charlie. Had to be Charlie. It was the one that asked about that. That's the only thing that makes sense to me. How do I say this? Adrian? Is it Adrian? I'm going to call you Miss Jones for now until you correct me. That's how we know you're divinely blessed and called. What are the odds you would be doing this now connected 3 a past podcast that your wife was on and people called Candace a liar and crazy? I'm gonna read it one more time. What are the odds you would be doing this now connected 3 a past podcast that your wife was in? Oh, are you saying, oh, it was like divine that I made that podcast? Yeah, that podcast I was showing you guys has like 900 views. We did it for no reason. It's very odd. We did it for no reason, and then it ended up helping us here. I think that's what you're saying. I'm pretty sure that's what you're saying. And I appreciate that. And I don't know if I'm divinely blessed, but I hope I'm blessed. I try to pray every day. And pray for me, I guess. Princess Zelda, is that where the gateway tapes come from? They created an updated version of the, I'm assuming you mean gateway when you say this, gateway tapes that are supposedly on YouTube. I haven't heard about that, actually. I haven't heard about any new ones out at all. But yeah, I'll definitely look into that, but I haven't heard of that myself. Beach Bum says, always enjoy your take. Bill's wife literally has the exact same name as my grandmother. Also lived in Germany when grandpa was stationed there. Okay, well then you're related to Bill. You just don't realize it. Okay, there we go. If you'd like to do an interview about being related to Bill, not realizing it. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. That is weird though. That is weird. Eric says, Merle Burbanks. P.S. I meant Erika Franzvi should not be considered a Kirk. The way. By the way, good job. Thanks. Queen, Baron, Ian. Check out What's Your Stop Rumble. Hey man, what? Listen, I'll try and answer. Thank you, and Rumble is the same thing that it's on. My Rumble is the same. It's on YouTube. It's the same thing. I don't know. Sorry. Anyway, I like Brian Enton's coverage and investigations on trials in Utah. He is kind to families and victims. He is He is LDS. So as Coach likes to say, useful idiot to the feds in this interview. I don't call people useful idiots. I think it in my head. I didn't say that, though. I didn't say that about anybody. You couldn't have heard it. Unless you're a gateway kid, you're reading my mind or something. But yeah, I like his coverage too. I think he does great coverage. When he's at the courtroom, he not only gives live updates on X, but then afterwards he makes a video about the whole thing, breaking it down. He does great work. It's just like with that interview that I just saw, I was like, this doesn't check out. This doesn't make any sense, you know? Let's keep going. No Name. And I didn't know he was a part of the church. That is so telling. So that means he's in the place where he's from, talking to one of Lance's family members, who's also affiliated with the church, Tyler, who's also affiliated with the church. And it could be loose. It could be they could have already got excommunicated, or maybe they want nothing to do with it. I don't know. But that is very interesting. I mean, I'm telling you, man, this whole case is like just close-knit insiders from judges all the way to the people covering it, man. No Name says, not Coach teaching Heather about the birds and the bees. I had to teach Heather about it. What was I supposed to do? She didn't know. She didn't understand. I have to break it down if you don't understand. You guys know that's what I do. I break things down. Gina Bambina says, I went into the Wayback Machine on your channel. You have everything I've been interested in since I was a child. Glad I found your channel. Oh yeah, if you go back into the videos, I talk about all sorts of stuff. I started talking about, like when I first started the channel, I started talking about, like, it was started as vlogging, but then when I actually started talking about what I wanted to talk about, it was about like habits and personal development. And then from there, it went deep into like the metaphysical and weird esoteric stuff. And then it went deep into all sorts of stuff and politics. Like it's very, it's interesting if you go down the rabbit hole of Coach. I've been noticing some people watching like my first videos and stuff. I thank you for that. It's pretty funny. Heather, is this the Heather? Is this the Heather? You got him, Coach. I did get him. He slipped up. Brian slipped up. I'm glad we can agree on that, Heather. Stephanie Eastman, how did he know they grabbed the old guy? He was scanning. Was he scanning CNN while running? That is a good point. And this is in regards to Tyler saying, oh, they grabbed an old guy instead. How did he know that they grabbed an old guy? So he has ran, he's jumped off of a roof, he's ran with a firearm, he's put it somewhere, he runs off somewhere else. I don't know where he runs off to. I don't think that's been made clear. Maybe you guys know, I don't. And at some point he says, oh, they grabbed an old guy. Like what? I don't know. That's kind of weird. That is weird. Like, how would he know? But I mean, George Zinn, that's who we're talking about when it says the old guy. George Zinn was completely like, what are the odds George Zinn, who's like 70 something years old, goes to a Turning Point event, decides to say that I'm the one that shot somebody, happens to go on the day when Charlie Kirk gets hit, and then screams he did it, and then said he did it so the guy could get away. None of it makes sense, because that's what somebody would do who is, you know, like a heavy lefty would do that. You know, maybe just a terrible person, but maybe somebody who skews to the left in terms of politics doesn't like Charlie Kirk. But then when you look into George Zinn, he has all these connections in Utah to Republicans. So he's clearly on the right. It doesn't make any sense. The whole thing with him doesn't make any sense. And now he's gone and no one can talk to him. And he's on these disgusting charges. So nobody's talking to him now. And Candace says that he told the nurses that he was going to get paid or something like that. I mean, it's just, the whole thing is just crazy. So how does Tyler know about that guy? I don't know. I mean, was the guy there by mistake? It doesn't seem like it. Doesn't seem like it to me. You know? What happened here? What happened here? Go back. Go back. Go back. Please. Please, technology. Technology, listen to me. Technology's listening. There we go. Technology. Technology. What just happened? Oh, man. I'm going to go through all you guys. I got to do blood work, though. I got to do some blood work. You get old, you just start doing blood work all the time. They just want your blood so much more as you get older, you know? Since I was a child, was the way back... Since I was a child, was the way back machine in itself? I'm a boomer in itself. Since I was a child, was way back machine in itself. I'm a boomer. I don't fit in any box. Much love and many prayers to you and your family. Well, thank you so much, Gina Gambina. Gina Gambina, thank you very much. Kimball or Cammy? Cammy Blackburn? Cammy Blackburn. That sounds like a Caribbean last name. You know, a lot of people in the Caribbean have last names like that. Coach, I believe Candace said this Zoom call was 12 days after. Sorry, she initially said it was 5 days after in her tweet. And then I guess she realized it was 12 days after. So I was just saying what she said in her original tweet. It was after the memorial, which was 10 days after. Love your show. Yes, thank you. Thank you for that. Really appreciate that. Yeah, I was just saying what she originally said. So I guess she corrected herself by the time she was actually showing it. Ali sending some more money to say you definitely have a good one. Oh, for my wife? Is that what you're talking about? I got a good one too. He and I share the same birthday. Share the same birthday. Guess when? September 10th. Oh no, really? That's wild. How weird is it? Have you guys ever looked into all the birthdays that line up in terms of like just in regards to Erika and Charlie and September 10th. Like it's pretty crazy. I should actually find that for you guys and break it all down. It's pretty nuts how many birthdays all link up. Thank you again. And happy belated birthday. Coco Library Girl says, how can Tyler be worried about his dad seeing this specific picture of the rifle on the news, yet it's a stock image admitted later by MSM. Am I wrong? Didn't he say he saw, didn't he say this in the text message? Yes, he did. He 100% did. And it turned out to be a stock image, and nobody's addressing that because it doesn't fit any of the narrative. But you're 100% right. You are not crazy. That is actually what happened. A million percent. That is what happened. And how do you explain it? Who's explaining that? Right? It was a stock image. But he saw it. He was like, I know what this is. Doesn't make any sense. The whole story doesn't make any sense. Most of the alternative theories make more sense than the official narrative. Way more. Troodles. Love the show, Coach. I'm an avid watcher. Great to finally catch a new live. Keep doing what you're doing. Thank you so much. Just swing it, says someone needs to press sound, guys. Weak link. Someone needs to press sound, guys. Oh, yeah. Yeah. The sound guys, the audio video guys, you're 100% right. There was 2 or 3 of them beside the guy who took the SD cards. Nobody's talked about those guys. Nobody knows who those guys are. You're 100% right about that. Hey, Coach, what are these czar? You're sending me czar? What's czar? Czar is better. You better mean Zollers. What are czars? I would love to know what that is. South Africa. A lot of people. South Africa is the 4th biggest country. The 4th country that listens. It's America, Canada, UK, South America, and then Australia under that. So thank you so much for being a part of that population of people who watch the show. Hey, Coach, I'm watching from South Africa. Whoop, whoop. Candace aims to get sued so she can get the information subpoenaed through discovery. I think she wants Erika and Turning Point to sue her for that reason. Justice for Charlie. Yeah, you could be right about that. You could be right about that because, listen, if I got discovery, if I got it, I don't know if I know what to do with it. I don't even know if I know what to ask for. Candace has probably been thinking of what to ask for the longest time. For the longest time. She probably would get a hold of some stuff. And she knows, because you can't, in discovery, you can't just say, I want all communications. You can't say that, right? They tried to do that with Balix to Joe Rogan. They were like, we want all the text messages from Joe Rogan and Balix. And Joe was like, no, that's crazy. That's unreasonable, right? Candace would know exactly what to ask for. And you have to know exactly what to ask for because then it becomes reasonable. Because you have to be like, well, I want this because it's towards this part of the case and it shows that I'm innocent here. So I need this, this, and this. And then they'll be very forthcoming. The judge will, at least. I don't know how a forthcoming Turning Point would be. Loving your lives, Coach. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I love doing it. I love communicating with people so much more. You have no idea. I feel like I'm not by myself. I know I help you guys feel like you're not by yourself, but I always am alone in the studio and it sucks because I want to be with my wife. I want to be with my kid. I can't. I have to just be here and, I'm just by myself all the time. So I appreciate this so much more than you even realize. I'm a people person, I like long walks on the beach. Hey, Coach, I'd love for you to check out my site to stream. Vaughn Live still believes freedom of speech. It's a safe hub for all truth seekers. I've nenever heard of it. You'd have to connect with me on like Instagram or something so I can actually go and check it out. Otherwise, like I haven't heard of it, but definitely interested. A lady says, do you think Charlie was innocent to all the TP corruption? I don't know if all of it, like, I think some of the stuff that is legal, but odd that Wolves in Finance points out, I think he could have possibly known about that. I think he could have had an understanding, but I think there's a lot of stuff that was happening, especially when Wolves in Finance points out the whole thing of think it's 8.6 million that goes from Turning Point to like Turning Point America or America's Turning Point or something like that, where Charlie would not know where that's going. There's no way he would know. I don't even know if he would know about the money being transferred. He's not a CEO like that. He was a guy who's like, okay, I'm speaking 300 days of the year, so I'm doing that, and I have to still be a father, and I still have to be a husband. You guys are running everything. We've built up something great. Let's keep going. I think in a smaller, regular company, I think the CEO or the founder would know about everything. I think what he built, I think there's some things he would have an understanding of that are above board, but still a little bit like, we do this, because it's like with taxes. It's like, it's not, there's certain things you can do tax-wise that you may go, oh, well, but it's completely legal. Your accountant will be like, it's above board. You're allowed to do this. You can pay this person this. You can do this. You can do that. He probably knew about stuff like that to a certain extent, but once somebody takes a bunch of money and moves it to certain places, how would you know? If someone takes a donation, like if one person takes a donation for say $20 million from somewhere, who knows, right? Philadelphia, maybe, allegedly, right? How would he know? How would he actually know? I know he's smart, but I don't know if he was like looking at the numbers every single day. Like, I feel like that's too stressful. Blindy Gab says, my mom won a blue ribbon. Oh, we hit 1 o'clock. My mom won a blue ribbon when Clinton was prez and met him. 4th grade tested 97 percentile math, 99 percentile lit in US. One Spanish spelling bee versus ESL Hackley School, New York, for testing, accepted in NYSSMA bands, Diff High School, oodles of doodles of fun. Why was that the thing I could read the easiest? What was that? I barely understood that, man. You gotta tell me that again, please. Lori Cardoza. Oh, I've been writing that name wrong. Lori Cardoza Moore, Whitestone Publishing Organization. Lori maybe pick, allegedly, maybe perhaps, need a date with a cougar. What? What on earth are you saying, good sir? Or good ma'am? Or good person? Yeah. I don't know what you're saying. You have to explain that better. Wanted to support your show. Love what you're doing. Slightly lighter. You're live now. Keep being awesome. God is good always. God is good all the time. All the time, God is good, and you know it. Just say, Julie, just keep going back to Erika saying, once he was assassinated. Who says that if they don't know? Yeah, I saw that in the speech. She said once he was assassinated, and like, it's just very odd for everybody. Everybody watching took that as super, super odd. And that's something to think about too, right? It's all weird, especially pairing that with what you just saw in the Zoom call. It's pretty crazy. Hey, coach, check your chat tab out on Patreon. I'm a professional artist and can make whatever is in your head better tomorrow. I'll send you some examples in chat or DM. Send it on Instagram. Please send it on Instagram. Please, 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 please. I will. I'm there. I answer a lot. The Unleavened Truth. Candace loved Charlie. Erika was married to Charlie. That is not the same thing. You're 100% right. David, we're not just sitting and looking at the wall. Erika Fronsby. Yeah, it's very weird. It's just odd, the things that she was saying, and the whole thing is just odd. And it was also 15 minutes. So Candace is going to actually release more of it, which is also surprising. There's going to be more, guys. There was more. That was like less than half. There's actually more. Her new name should be Erika Flirts. She's not too flirty. I don't know. Maybe. I have no idea. Oh, it's Caramel Kiss. Yeah, yesterday I had no idea what this was. Thank you so much. It's a real name. Okay, it is a real name. My bad. Thank you for correcting me there. So, Caramel Kiss See, it's a real name. I'm telling Baron that you're using his logic for Heather. Expect a cease and desist or at least a bill in the mail. No, don't tell him. Don't tell him. Don't tell him. He's supposed to be my representation. If you tell him, then who's going to represent me? Come on. Matthew, love your show. High IQ and funny too. Thank you so much. This got redacted. Why'd it get redacted? Man, I got to figure out what's going on there. I mean, obviously, my first thought is the person said something absolutely crazy that can't be said on YouTube, but I don't know. That's just weird. That's weird to me. Crypto says, here's a contribution for improvising the hat for bracelet heist. Thank you. The improvisation skills are getting honed in as of late. CJ Ryder, my fiance left for work 30 minutes later. His boss called me telling me he was gone. He was 32. I was a shell of myself for years. I still break down 14 years later. I'm very sorry for your loss. That is my nightmare. That's my nightmare. Just a nightmare. I mean, literally, I think about that all the time if my wife leaves. And that's why she rarely leaves without me. I always take her everywhere because I get so nervous. I mean, that's just, it's a nightmare, man. Sorry that happened to you. Yeah, things like that'll just tear you apart, you know? Just tear you apart. Kat, remember that guy that accepted the counseling at UVU? He went on the Mormon show and they laughed it off, but the story he told was nuts. No, I don't remember that guy. The guy who accepted the counseling at UVU. I might have done something on this. Somebody would have to refresh my memory on that. I have to look into that so I could think about it through a new lens of Erika not being a proper person during a Zoom call. Trying to be charitable there. Pablo says again, I think CK application to West Point triggered someone from Fort Haktua and screamed, "We got one kid from the GATE program, deny his application, send Agent Monty." Interesting. Yeah, something of the sort, right? I mean, you know, that's the place he wanted to go. That man who was there for spiritual purposes clearly knew that, was with Charlie all that time, right? And then, yeah, enter Bill. And Bill sees him and says, hey, you come, you have to be the one. I mean, because when you hear the story, I think Charlie is very engaging, but I don't know about that story of like the kids saw him and they were just like, oh, what? He's still talking about politics and stuff. For most kids, that's boring, no matter who's saying it. It could be someone they love. It could be someone who's famous. They're kind of just like, all right. They don't really care about stuff like that. You know, so for him to see Charlie talk it once and go, you got to start a company. That's pretty weird. That is weird in and of itself. Wouldn't you want to see more from that kid? Wouldn't you want to say to that kid, hey man, do you want to do something in politics? Like, you know, like anything? Instead, you're like, you can't go to college. You can't go to college. I don't know, man. I don't know. I think there was a lot set up in his life and he just didn't realize it. I think it could happen to anybody. Matthew says, as we learn this, it makes me feel that they will hurt anyone for speaking up. Love your show. Thank you for all you do. And Mr. Twiggs, do for you. He's not Lance Twiggs. He's not Lance Twiggs. Oh, he's going to hate that. Yeah, people are going to think he's Lance Twiggs now. Andy says, how are they taking walks at 10 o'clock at night? Where are the kids? Home alone, sleeping, live-in nanny? Where are these poor kids? Yeah, there's a lot of questions like that. It is very weird. But I have seen them on walks. There were videos of them taking walks and stuff, and it was always very nice. But I never saw anything at 10 o'clock at night. I mean, I don't know. I mean, the story could be fabricated. I mean, 10 o'clock at night doesn't really make sense. I mean, it was just like a whole lot of too much exposition. It was just like 10 o'clock at night. I mean, sometimes it was 10:10. We'd be walking down that one trail. He'd be a little bit behind me because I'm a faster walker, and I would hear the conversations all the time. And I have books that heard the conversations as well. And you guys can't see these books because they're very special books. But I mean, he has a plan right up until 2067. It's like, what? Danny Friedman, or Freedom, sorry. Press said Erika at UVU, or Press said E at UVU event. Maybe she was with Vance on Sam 003 at Scott Bassett. To Scott Bassett. Most powerful person in the world. Tell wolves. Worked for Soros for years. Not worth falling on sword. It's a zero-sum game. Well, I don't know wolves to tell him anything, but I get what you're saying there. And maybe she was on that. I don't know. People said she was on at the event. I feel like you would have saw her there if she was there, right? I don't know. I could be wrong. She could have been in a car for all I know. But the story is that she was not there. So who knows? I don't know. Nothing of what they say makes any sense. That's why people are flocking to Candace, because at least what she says makes sense, you know? Turning Point should do a reality TV show. It would be a killer. It was already a killer. I'm kidding. Oh, man. Come on. I mean, I walked into that joke. What could I do? I had to say it. I'm sorry. Never mind. It's not true. Nightmare Fuel, Erika running for prez, and Hillary is VP. No, don't say that out loud, man. That's like saying Candyman out loud. Don't do that. That's crazy. That would be a nightmare blunt rotation, you know? CJ Ryder, check out Colin Browning, Conspiracy Files. He did BG. What's BG? What's BG? I don't know what BG is. Someone tell me in the chat what BG is. You guys know? Let me see. Erika is a Scorpio. Yeah, I know. Erika has the same birthday as someone I know. Vivian Mighty, Chrissy Teigen almost caught fire this week on her star search as Jelly Roll spoke through tears about Jesus for love for us. It was crazy to watch. Chrissy Teigen, have you looked into, listen, talk about the internet way back machine, go look into Chrissy Teigen's old tweets. They are disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. Mad World, oh, you're Mad World. Here, come on. Can I make you a mod? I'm supposed to make you a mod, right? Am I wrong? I could be wrong. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. I'm making them a mod. There you go. I'm pretty sure somebody said to make Mad World a mod. You're a mod now. Thanks for all you do. You are appreciated. Thanks for all you do. You are appreciated. Thank you very much. Trigger Smart. Yo, Trigger Smart. What's going on? Thank you so much, man. Hey, coach and everyone. This is for your Coach Colin Tour Fund. Thank you so much, man. I've been talking to Trigger Smart about going live, taking the show live, going to like a big city where I have a lot of following, and just seeing what we could do out there. You know, it's something I wanted to do for a while, so I'm hoping to get that done. But he was giving me some ideas, and thank you, Trigger Smart. Thank you for that push. You're really appreciated there. LLC 333 said, what stood out to me, I didn't mean for that to rhyme, most about the leaked Zoom call was we pulled off the event of the century. Wicked giggle. We pulled off what exactly? Right? People are really, I don't know, just the WWE funeral, or also the event that led to it. It's weird. It's weird. Someone says I'm the best. Thank you so much. Someone says for the diaper fund. Thank you so much. Diapers are, I'm really getting into, not only are diapers expensive, but once a kid gets to a certain age, man, they're letting out adult size stuff. You know what I mean? Like it's like an adult now. So it's like, we got to potty train. You know what I mean? It gets crazy. I didn't realize how crazy it gets. When it's a baby, it doesn't smell that much. Now it's an adult type of thing. It gets wild now. Laura says, thank you for your work. Great insight. Andy says, our gov is just a combination of Scandal, House of Cards, and Blacklist. Love watching your show, coach. Keep up the great work. That is a perfect explanation of the combination of things that the government is. Does anyone know the names of Charlie's children? I have no idea the name of Charlie's children. I don't think anybody really does. What's this one say? Does anyone remember, I'll bring it up here. Does anyone remember the interview where Charlie and Erika discussed marriage roles? You could see the disdain they both held when they would listen to each other answer questions. Yeah, I played that the other day. And somebody down here said Bohemian Grove. Yeah. Yeah, no, I played that clip the other day. It was, it's interesting. It's interesting to see that play out, what that looks like. I showed Charlie when he was talking to Erika about that. And you're right, there was some disdain. And then also, I played Charlie when he was sitting with Candace, and it was like a completely different person. You know, you're talking about that disdain that they had, where they're kind of looking at each other, and it's a tension. And then with him and Candace, it's just like, you know, Charlie's just like, you can't drive, you're a woman, and she's like, yay. She's like, good, fantastic. I love being a princess. Thank you so much. And when he's talking to Erika about the same type of thing, she's like, well, I can drive, but, you know, I choose, you know, I just not going to, because I prefer for you to, you know. Anyways, guys, that was everything for the day. I can't wait until tomorrow. I mean, I can't wait until today. She's going to be going live in a few hours. I hope you guys are there to see everything. Someone says, I want to be a mod. You gotta, Lance has to approve you. That's how it goes. Lance is the head mod. Sorry, Freudian slip there. My apologies. But yeah, that's everything, guys. Someone said Erika sacrificed Charlie. Yeah, that's what I was getting at when I said, you know, what people have to do in Hollywood. I mean, I can't prove that, and I never will be able to prove that. It's just my opinion, and I don't really, you know, these are all jokes here, but I mean, people who want to be famous have to sacrifice things. They do. They have to sacrifice big things. That's the way it goes. And she seems like one of the most famous people right now. Just saying. Anyway, let's say bye to everybody. Thank you guys so much. Please hit that like button on the way out. Please hit the like button on the way out. It helps the channel so much. I need the likes. I need them so badly. You have no idea. It helps us tremendously. It helps us make this video get more replays. It helps us so more people end up seeing the video. It helps us get the video recommended more. And it is such an easy process for you guys to do. Just to hit that like button on your way out. It is so appreciated. You have no idea. It is the best thing you can possibly do for us. When you hit that like button, Mikey McCoy looks down from the heavens and he gives you a nod that transfers into endless blessings. Everybody knows it. He walked away for our sins. Anyways, guys, I'm out of here. Peace.